Each January, dirt track racers from across the nation gather in Tulsa, Oklahoma for a one-of-a-kind racing event known simply as the Chili Bowl. To enter is simple. Find a ride, pay your entry, and make the trip down Route 66. What awaits you are nearly 300 of racing's best, from Sprint Cup headliners to open-wheel masters and the best dirt track dominators from across the globe. To make the A-Main on Saturday night is the dream of every dirt track driver. There are only 24 places at the table, each seat earned throughout a week of Midget Racing's best, wheel to wheel around the quarter-mile oval, each trying to earn their shot at a golden driller. To make the A-Main in the Chili Bowl is a badge of honor. To win punches your ticket into racing immortality.
He is your winningest driver in the history of the Chili Bowl as he wins his 5th golden driller.
The name Swindell can strike fear in even the most experienced of racers.
Here comes Sammy one more time, trying to pull up the slide job on his son.
Sammy Swindell has amassed 5 Chili Bowl crowns in his 20 A-Main appearances, more than any other competitor in history. For over 25 years, Slammin' Sammy has been the man to beat until he passed his Chili Bowl knowledge from father to son.
Kevin Swindell brings home the win here at the Chili Bowl.
At just 24 years old, Kevin Swindell has dominated the Chili Bowl for the past 4 years. He was the first champion to win back-to-back titles.
Kevin Swindell goes back-to-back and wins his 2nd straight Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. Holy cow.
Then he added 2 more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Swindell, the Bulldog, makes it 4 in a row. Are you kidding me?
Tonight, Kevin goes for an unprecedented 5th consecutive trip to Victory Lane in Tulsa. With a win, he'll join his father as the only racers to achieve 5-time Chili Bowl glory. The mighty Midgets have come to Tulsa, ready for action. It's the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, presented by General Tire.
Hi, I'm Dave Despain. Welcome to an American Racing Classic, the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The concept is genius. Find yourself a building with 11 acres under roof, haul in a mountain of dirt, spread it into a racetrack, surround that with grandstands, build a pit area with race cars, and sell the place out 5 nights in a row. The cars, yeah, they're little, they're midgets, but the field includes the giants of American short track racing, a handful of international challengers, and a couple of NASCAR stars thrown in for good measure. 296 cars entered here. That's a record. 88 races over 5 nights has narrowed that field down. The fastest 12 are in the main event. 68 drivers still have a shot at the other 12 starting spots. And in just a few minutes, the first 20 of those will roll out for the first of 2 C main events. The top 6 from each C will advance into the B main events. Last chance to make the feature. The top 6 from each B will have a chance to race 55 laps tonight for the honor of Chili Bowl champion. Now, the overwhelming story of the week is Kevin Swindell. In the first 23 years of this race, with all the heroes who came here, no driver could win 2 in a row. Kevin has won it 4 years straight. That's the story of the week. The story of the hour, Kevin Swindell has not yet made the main event. So many stories to tell, so many heroes to meet, so many races to watch. Let's get topside to the guys who will call the action tonight, Ken Stout and Rob Klepper.
It has been a busy week, as you said, Dave. A lot of races are already in the book, and of course the money races are coming up. Everybody's talking about the Swindells, and it's a huge story, in part because Kevin isn't in. But when you talk about Kevin, how about the first person to ever repeat, then tags 2 more on behind that? If he wins it tonight, it's 5 consecutive. Everybody knows that. It matches Dad for all-time wins, but he does them consecutively. Some will argue possibly the greatest Chili Bowl midget racer of all time.
Yes, you could certainly argue that, and if he wins tonight, it may not be an argument at all. Kevin Swindell, Sammy Swindell, since 2009, have raced 20 feature events here at the Chili Bowl, including the Race of Champions. They've won 16 of them. But Kevin Swindell didn't have a lot of luck on his prelim night. Cut a tire down in his heat race, had to go to the back of the C main. He won it. Had to go to the back of the B main. raced up and won that too. Started deep in the field in the A main, raced up till third place, got by Michael Pickens, actually passed him for third. The Kiwi got back underneath. Swindell ended up fourth, so we'll see him up towards the front in one of these B mains. I don't think he's ever had to do that. It's going to be fun to watch him get in the A.
And of course, there's a lot of other names here besides the Swindells that are all capable of winning this thing. Young Christopher Bell, he is on fire, arguably the hottest midget driver right now in the country. National Midget Driver of the Year. He also won the national championship this year. He is hot and won his prelim night. And then how about the local boy from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma? Jonathan Beeson also picked up a prelim win.
Yeah, if you're in Oklahoma and you're a Sooner fan and those two guys go to victory lane, you're going to be very excited come Saturday night. The Newcastle, Indiana driver Caleb Armstrong also picking up a win. Really, the first couple nights were guys that you really didn't think could win a prelim feature here at the Chili Bowl, but they're going to have a good starting spot, and we know that 55 lapper is going to be fun.
We're going to have a lot of fun here, and there's a lot more stories that are developing. And of course, to help us out and keep us on top of those are the two pit reporters. We're going to get it down to the first of the two, our good friend, and congratulations, you Hall of Famer, you, Dave Argerbright. Take it away, bud.
The Chili Bowl remains one of the hardest races in the world to win. That's why it's so extraordinary for Kevin Swindell to win 4 in a row. But tonight, Kevin, you start scratch. The 4 wins don't really help you. You got to get in and you got to try to win it again. What do you need to do coming through?
First, you just got to get in the race here. You know, managed to dig out of a pretty deep hole there the other night, and you know, at least got ourselves to the front of the B, so you're not on the complete back of this deal. So you win the B, start 13th, I believe, and you know that's not a terrible hole to dig out of. We won I think the second year I won from 10th, so it can be done, I think.
You know, people, they love to see you win, but then they boo a little bit too. They get a little bit tired of the same guy, but man, they love it when you drive through like that. Does that inspire you?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. You know, I think they were more excited when I didn't make it back out for the heat race, and they knew it was going to put me in such a hole. And I think a lot of people thought we just put it away and come back Saturday with a provisional, but you know, there was still a lot of racing to be done, and managed to dig through. And I think it's hard to not appreciate something like that.
I think a racer always wants to race their way in, and this guy absolutely is a racer. 1 year ago, the guy that came closest to getting past these guys was Kyle Larson. And now let's hear from him with my colleague tonight, Aaron Bates.
Thanks, Dave. Kyle Larson is the young hero that almost unseated Kevin Swindell just 1 year ago. But Kyle, in order for you to have a legitimate chance at winning this prestigious race, first you need to race your way through the B feature. What needs to be done?
Well, I think our cars are pretty good here at Keith Kunz Motorsports, so just got to be conservative and stay out of trouble, and try and be in the top 6 or however many it is to lock in. And then 55 laps in the A main is a long time to get to the front, and Kevin will be back there with us, so he's got to come from B main also, so that's good. Maybe you can just follow him up through there and then hopefully race him for the win. That'd be pretty special if you beat the Swindells here.
Such a spectacular battle between you and Kevin Swindell last year, and it seemed as though things were neck and neck until just that one small mistake cost you so big. Are you feeling any additional pressure this year?
I actually don't feel any pressure. You know, maybe last year I felt a little bit, and this year I don't feel any at all. So I think that's a good thing. You know, going to approach it just as another race. You know, we get nervous sometimes, and that's when you make mistakes. So just trying to keep a level head and try and make no mistakes tomorrow night, and try and get my first Golden Driller.
Kyle Larson, he is young, he's exceptionally talented, and has a bright future ahead of him. In Tony Stewart's words, he's the best he has ever been at such a young age. Dave Despain, take it away.
You know, Aaron, someday you'll be able to tell your grandkids, I interviewed the great Kyle Larson back when he was just a 21-year-old kid. And on a purely personal note, let me just say how happy I am to join the MAVTV family tonight. What a gig. You and I are going to have a lot of fun over the next couple of years. With that, let's get our first commercial break of the night out of the way. When we come back, at the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. Stay tuned for more.
The Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, presented by General Tire, is brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. Protect the harvest, standing up for America's farmers, hunters, and animal owners. And by General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Tulsa, Oklahoma for the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals, presented by General Tire. The C main, the first of 2 C mains coming up here in just a couple of moments. The A main competitors that are already locked in, receiving some hot laps. Shake a little bit of the rust off after possibly sitting for a couple of days. So we're just about ready to go. Take a look at the fans. I mean, they have packed this house. It is incredible what they do each and every year.
Fans from all over the country, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. They take time off from their vacation. I mean, they come here to Tulsa, Oklahoma to watch the Chili Bowl. The best drivers in the country, and they love it. It's a party where a race broke out.
It is an absolute party, and it's been going on since Tuesday. So everybody's excited. I mean, it's such an event here that happens every year in January. We'd love to have you come out here. Just good luck squeezing in.
Yeah, if you don't have a ticket, it's kind of like a Super Bowl ticket. If you don't have it in your family, tossed down from father to son, mother to daughter, it's hard to get a ticket here at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, whenever you see the names that show up, the competitors that show up, as Dave was talking about before, nearly 300 entries here, a record, by the way. But whenever you see the who's who, you would pay good money to go see any small group of these people. So to get them all underneath one roof and watch them go at it is certainly a rare event.
Yeah, and the coolest thing about it is, like you said, it's not just midget drivers. They're not just sprint car drivers, NASCAR drivers, guys that have started the Indy 500, pavement veterans, sprint car, wing, non-wing, micro sprints, people that have golden drillers at the shootout. Get a midget ride and come here to the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. It is certainly the biggest race of the year, and it's also a great way to kick off the year.
You know, and you mentioned something there to help our fans out at home. You might hear us mention the shootout every now and again, or former Golden Driller winners at the shootout. It's an event that actually happens a week ahead of time as well, that has some 500-600 entries and the micro sprint. So they come out here, and matter of fact, Kevin Swindell came out and put in the better part of 160 laps about a week ago to get used to this place again. So it is it's a great opportunity for the Chili Bowl competitors, and then of course it's also a heck of a competition of its own. Take a look at that guy, one of the best to ever get behind the wheel, and he's in a C main, a 2-time, matter of fact, one of only 5 2-time Chili Bowl national winners.
Yeah, that's Corey Cruzman from Ventura, California, a multi-time sprint car champion, Western States midget champion, a big fan favorite. There's a lot of fan favorites when you come to the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. That's one of them. Everybody likes to see the cruiser run well.
And you know what? If you want to learn how to drive one of these things, he's your guy.
Yep.
Go out to Ventura and sign up for the school, and you can drive a sprint car or a midget.
20-car field in tonight's first of 2 C mains. It will be a 20-lap race, and only the top 6 will move on to the B main. We talk a lot about points, passing points here at the Chili Bowl. All that is forgotten. It's about finishing in the top 6. If you run 7th, guess what? You're going home.
Yeah, and you know, the passing points are such a huge part of this. The preliminary nights are such a huge part of this. You need to unload good. You need to be fast right out the bat. Speaking of legendary race car drivers, there's another one, of course, with Toyota power underneath the hood of that one, the 1ST, J.J. Yaley. Unfortunately, one of the frustrating stories, if you will, of this week. I mean, literally about 10, 15 feet from the finish line, and Rico Abreu got into the side of him, and they turned the car over. He never made it across the stripe. Consequently, finds himself in a C. Yeah,
it happens just that quick. We talk about it all week long. You can go from 0 to 0 in a hurry, and for Yaley, almost had himself locked in. You're right. Right where that black car is sitting is about where he got out, tossed the steering wheel, was not happy.
Yeah, and I say he's in a C. He actually had to work his way up to the C here today, so he's been busy all day long. Another tough competitor here out of Corona, California, home of Lucas Oil, by the way, number 68 car, Ronnie Gardner.
Yeah, Gardner, Western States midget champion, and Jay Drake actually destroyed that race car in practice for the VacuWorks Race of Champions. They went over to Factor One, a local 600 micro sprint dealer, got that car back together, and Rodney Gardner now is trying to get his way into the A as he starts his alphabet soup.
And also, we want to help out the new fans, the young fans that are coming along. You can see a push truck right there. Something you should know is they do not have a key. They don't have a push button start inside of them. They literally push these cars. They start turning over the engine, and then they will build oil pressure, eventually flip the switch on, and the car starts up. But they do not have a transmission per se. It's just an in and out box. All right, let's show you our starting grid here. Lined up on the pole will be the 15W of Brandon Welty, his 13th appearance here at the Chili Bowl. He'll line up alongside the 39R of Dylan Welch, a former Kenyan midget champion.
Out of Lindsay, Oklahoma, the 8L of Harley White on the inside of row 2, alongside sprint and midget veteran, 12th time here at the Chili Bowl, the 44 of Don Droud Jr.
Driving the 8K, a double Golden Driller winner at the shootout, Frank Flood. And he'll line up alongside the Cruiser, the 21K, one of only 5 people to win the Golden Driller here at the Chili Bowl Nationals more than once.
Dominic Scelzi, son of 4-time NHRA champion Gary Scelzi, a rookie here at the Chili Bowl inside row number 4. Alongside this 2ND, another rookie out of the state of Texas, ran 14th in his preliminary night feature, Jeb Sessoms.
In the 15 car, making his 16th appearance here at the Chili Bowl, but looking for his first ever A-main, Tim Siner. He'll line up alongside the number 88 car, and a bit of a surprise, a 47-year-old rookie here at the Chili Bowl. That's Terry Babb.
Richard Vanderweerd, 2012 Chili Bowl Rookie of the Year, to the inside of row number 6, and to the outside, 18-year-old lady from Shelby Township, Michigan, Taylor Ferns.
We go back to row number 7, the 8V of Chase Vanderweerd. That is the brother of Richard just ahead of him, CRA Rookie of the Year, and he'll line up on the inside of the 67 car of Tanner Thorson, the 17-year-old rookie driving for Keith Coons.
And starting deep, coming out of the D main, the winner, J.J. Yaley, inside of row number 8. Finished second, 2007, alongside sprint and midget veteran from Hoosier State, Shane Hollingsworth.
The 68 car of Ronnie Gardner will line up on the inside of row number 9, the 2013 Western States midget champ, and then James Edens alongside with the 5E, a rookie out of Petaluma, California.
And your 10th and final row from Layton, California, has a few shootout Golden Drillers, a rookie at the Chili Bowl, the 81 of Heath Dunkerkin, and rounding out your field from right here in Tulsa, also a rookie here at the Chili Bowl, the 11CA of Chris Andrews.
Pace truck making a couple of laps here, of course, and they are telling them one more lap, we will go green. Once again, the midgets, of course, the 4 cylinders underneath the hood, making approximately 360 to 380 horsepower. Top 6 transfer in. We will try to keep you abreast of that final transfer spot. We are racing. Here we go. C-main number 1.
Brandon Welty with a big jump.
Issues there with the 8 car, somehow saved it.
Yeah, you want to save it. You don't want to pull the brake and stop on the racetrack and have to go to the tail. But these guys are banging wheels early. That's the 39 car banging wheels up front as Corey Kruzman tried to get by there in the 21K.
Yeah, Dylan Welch really going for a ride in that 39 car, somehow able to keep his going as well. Sticks the nose down there in the bottom. Corey Kruzman carrying that left front tire, and the caution flag comes out.
You can see one stopped over there. That is Jeb Sessoms in the 2ND car. As we said earlier, ran 14th in his prelim feature event. And that's half the battle. Making the A main on your preliminary night is going to pretty much put you in a D main on Saturday. Worst case scenario, he finished 14th and finds himself here in a C. Let's take another look at what happened.
2 and 3 wide back in there. Yeah, a couple of them just getting together, and when he landed, unfortunately, just had to check up and get out of the throttle. And as we said before, it's not something where you can push the clutch in and keep the car running. Once you come to a complete stop, it shuts the engine off.
So Brandon Welty right there, your leader. I believe we did get one complete lap in the books. Remember, this thing is 20 laps long. It's like a feature anywhere else in the country. This is the C main. If you don't run in the top 6, your night is done. So a single file restart once we get the lineup set, and that's a tough break for Sessoms. We must have broke something on that car as he is on the hook.
Siner in that 6th and final transfer spot, followed by the young Dominic Scelzi. You talked about son of legendary drag racer Gary Scelzi, and Dominic really his first weekend side of a midget, and he has done a fabulous job.
So Sessoms will get carried out of the racetrack, back up the ramp, and that will end his bid to move on into the back of the B main. As you see Welty out front, Don Droud Jr. in that purple and yellow 44. Over 80 career wins out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Another fan favorite. You know, it seems like every one of these drivers is a fan favorite here at the Chili Bowl when they show up. They bring their fans. They have a good time. You see back there Dylan Welch in that 39 car will line up 4th. Corey Kruzman there in the 21.5. And you talked about Tim Siner, another veteran midget driver from the state of Illinois. He's right now on the bubble in that 6th and final transfer.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a special night for him if he can finally make the show after coming here previous 15 years and not making it into the A main. He's got some tough players around him, though, and you know, it's one of those deals, if you're in that top 6, you don't want to make a mistake and knock yourself out of it or knock somebody else out. Move on, but at the same time, you cannot lay up here. That's the beauty of this race. There's just so many gunners all around you. You've got to go. Well, your safest bet is to go.
Yeah, and at this point, the not feeling bad about knocking someone out, you're not going to feel bad at all if you knock someone out. I mean, this is the C main, especially when you get to the B. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. You don't want to go in there and not, you know, like you said, flip someone out of the place and harm them or put them in, you know, in a bad position. But if you've got to use the chrome horde to get someone out of the way to get in the Chili Bowl, you're going to do it. Here we are in the hot pits. It looks like the crew has the car of Jeff Sessoms there, and I think that, yeah, that left side nerve bar got pushed back into that left rear tire, so it was probably rubbing on that tire. They're going to try and get that thing pushed forward. It's very difficult to do. Chromoly nickel-plated nerve bars there, and
a lot of times they'll spring a little bit, but the beauty of chrome moly is it comes back to its original position, not necessarily what they want to see right now. All right, coming around. Here we go. Green flag. One more time. We restart. C-main number 1.
Track in great condition as Corey Kruzman goes to the low line. Runs in the 4 spots. It looks like the 8 car, I believe that's Harley White, having trouble on the racetrack, slows up. We're still green.
Yeah, Harley was sitting in 3rd place. Boy, what a heartbreaker there as he watches opportunities to go to the B main slip away. Corey Kruzman on the move. Corey Kruzman had an injector go bad on his prelim night. And yeah, we take a look at the A car, unfortunately, for Harley, and he's going to lay up here off to the side.
Yeah, White had a good run on his prelim night, finished in the 12th position. They're in the Hard 8 Racing. Teammates to Jonathan Beeson, who won a preliminary night feature.
Absolutely.
And Frank Flood, as you mentioned, picked up 2 golden drillers at the shootout coming from the
Oh, there's a problem right there. He moved the steering wheel, but the right front didn't move. I'm not a mechanic, but I'm guessing that's not right.
Locked it in gear, thought he was okay, and it looks like now pulling him out of gear and going to get him pushed off the racetrack. So, again, tough break there for Harley White.
You got to clarify a little bit of what you just said. I was trying to explain the transmission situation before. They have what they call in and out boxes. You're either in gear or you're out of gear, and obviously flipped it out of gear here to get the car off out of the way, but that's how they get them started. They put them in gear, and that consequently turns the engine over, and they flip the on switch and have power. Away they go.
Just 2 laps in here in our first of 2 C main events, and they'll push Harley White back to the work area. Crew should be back there. If it's something they think they could fix, they're going to certainly be there to try and get him back out, but more than likely won't be able to make it.
And you never really know how these things are going to go. I mean, you can have incidents like this where you kind of have a hard time getting the race in. We had a prelim night earlier in the week that went flag to flag green. It lasted for about 7 minutes. Well, we have our 2 pit reporters are hard after it, and let's get it down to Dave Argabright. You have some more.
Guys, you know, Harley White here in the work area, something to understand. We don't have pit stops here at the Chili Bowl. This is the work area right here. You can change a tire, pull a bar off a tire, pick something quick. Once they get a lineup and go green, you're out of it. You got to get it turned around very quick and go back.
Thanks a lot, Dave. As you can tell, pretty loud down there where he is at, just at the exit of the racetrack. We go green once again, and Welty picks up the throttle and drives away. A great restart there on Drow.
Yeah, you can see just how tacky fast this racetrack is. It looks like the caution comes out again, and we got one upside down. That is Frank Flood, another Hard 8 Racing entry.
That is the double golden driller winner you were speaking of before. That's about how light these things are. Something else we've yet to touch on. Typically, the car under national event rules with driver weighs in at 1,050 pounds, 1,100 pounds, call it that. But obviously everybody give him a round of applause. He is okay and up and out of the car. But here they are allowed to build a lighter car. There is no weight rule. So it doesn't take very many guys to turn these things back over. And he just got up on the back tire, man. A lot of power inside of that thing, hooked up, does a huge wheel stand, eventually hits the rear bumper, then it unloads the inside rear tire, and over he goes.
Yeah, and he's real lucky that nobody got into him as he was sitting there exposed. As you can see, it could have got ugly very quickly, but good to see Flood out of the race car under his own power. And you can see all the safety personnel, all the Lucas Oil officials that are here. They are on the track very quickly to attend to these drivers. They do an awesome job each and every year here at the Chili Bowl, and good to see Flood out under his own power and his car's on the hook. Unfortunately, his bid to make the B main and hopefully into the A main has ended.
It is a sight, and we're going to see it all night long. When these things get hooked up, when they come off the turn and they get hooked up, maybe if the driver has to pedal it for a brief moment and stabs it back on the mat again, back on the floorboard, it'll yank the front end up on these cars, and you just can't steer them, obviously, with the front tires up in the air. So they don't want to lift, of course, so you try to hang on to it as long as you can, and unfortunately he hung on to it a little bit too long.
Let's get it back down to Dave Arkwright.
Pretty hard ride. You looks like you're all right. What happened?
A little disappointed. When me and Corey got together on the start down there, it hurt the right rear shock and it bent it, and it kept wanting to just stay down over there, and I tried to power out of it, and it just hooked the right rear, folded down, and when it come back, it just went for a ride.
Hard ride and the night's over. Glad you're okay.
Once again, we throw the green flag. See if we can get a couple laps in here in this first of 2 C mains.
And Corey Cruzman going top shelf, and when we say top shelf, we mean the outside groove of the racetrack, the long way around. No real cushion, no ledge, nothing to lean on up there. It's just flat out the long way around right now. Now he goes to the low line. Oh, big trouble right behind him, I believe. That is the 17 of Dominic Selzy.
And Dominic Selzy just one spot out of that transfer position.
Maybe trying to make a move there on Signer. Hard to tell to get into the top 6, and you can see him already climbing out. Again, driving for Matt Wood. Of course, Cole Wood Racing, you see on the side there, chasing ASCS national points last year, picking up the Rookie of the Year honors, and I think Mr. Selzy might not be too happy with someone.
Maybe wants to talk to him a little bit. There it is.
Trying to find out exactly, and he looks like he was looking at Richard Vanderweerd there in the 19S, so hard to tell exactly what happened. Let's take a look at it one more time, and well, he's right to be upset with the 19S of Richard Vanderweerd. Vanderweerd got in there. You saw him turning left. It was just pushing like a snowplow. He couldn't get it turned. It ran right up the racetrack, right into the side of Selzy, who was just a victim of circumstance.
But it looked like he got up on the inside berm there just a little bit, and it upset the car on the entry of the turn. And then, like you said, it just was really tight. He couldn't get the car to rotate. Goes out, tags Selzy, and Selzy gets the worst end of the deal.
Yeah, it's a tough break, as you mentioned, a rookie here at the Chili Bowl. And his dad ran a Ford Focus here at the Chili Bowl, and almost had the same exact thing happen down in turn 1, I believe. So unfortunate break there for Dominic.
All right, we've been talking about these cars a bit to you, trying to explain them. So here's a better look.
Well, if you look at a Midget over the course of time, they really haven't changed a whole lot, though they've gotten a little bit lighter and a little bit faster. 165 to 175 cubic inch methanol injected engine underneath the hood, 4-cylinder, of course, aluminum block, anywhere from 350 to 400 horsepower. You talked about it. No weight rule here at the Chili Bowl, and if you want to take a little off, it's about 850 to 1,000 pounds, give or take. Some guys can get it to about 800, but you really have to take your time in the machine shop to shave weight off these cars.
I was talking to Cruzman. He said, if you want to build one of these things from scratch, you're going to spend about 70, 75 grand. He said, if you're going to run it all year long, you're going to rebuild it twice throughout the year. That's another 10 grand each. And he said, then if you want to sell it the following year, you're going to get about 25 grand for it. And once again, we will restart these guys.
Brandon Welty still out front. Don Drought Jr. second. Dylan Welch third. Corey Cruzman fourth. Tanner Thorson for Keith Kunz Motorsports. And Tim Signer still in that 6th and final transfer spot. As Thorson right there puts a big move on the cruiser.
Vanderweerd in that 7th spot. Just one outside of the final transfer. That's where it's at. As we watch Drought and Welch, the top 3, 4, 5, and 6 right there.
Track right now, you know, a lot of moisture in it, tacky fast, kind of one lane right around the bottom. The guy in front of you really has to make a mistake for you to make a move and get by. And you can see Don Drought Jr. right there in that 44, holding off Dylan Welch there in the 39 as Brandon Welty continues to lead, kind of pulling away to about a 3 or 4 car length advantage.
Get a little bit deeper in the pack. That's where the action is at. And that's what you were talking about before. The 19S right there behind the 21K. That is your top 6. He is your final transfer spot. rolls right up on the back of Cruiser. Cruiser trying to stick a nose in there on the 67 car of Thorson.
Yeah, Richard Vanderwoerd would really like to get one more spot, a little insurance, as he sits right now on the bubble in 6th. J.J. Yaley, meanwhile, has worked his way up from 15th into 7th, right behind the number 19. So Yaley is on the move as well. You see him at the top of your screen, coming out of the D main to the back of the C main, trying to race his way into the B.
And that's what I was talking about before. You can't take it easy. For Cruzman, he knows he's one inside, but he also needs to try and get one more because Yaley is coming, ladies and gentlemen. JJ is on a roll.
Yeah, he was real fast, as we talked about. There he is going top shelf on his preliminary night feature event. Just a little bit of bad luck as he goes around the outside of Vanderweerd, trying to take that 6th spot. Yaley gets it done, or does he?
JJ has started deep before and worked up through the alphabet soup. Matter of fact, coming from as deep as anybody in the history of the Chili Bowl, he is inside right now if he can stay out of the wreck. All but pushing Corey Cruzman there.
Laps are winding down as Brandon Welty crosses the stripe. It's the white flag, 1 lap to go. Welty, Drought, Welch, Thorson, Cruzman, and J.J. Yaley are top 6. Vanderweerd still 1 spot out.
J.J. Yaley not wanting to sit there in 6th place. He knows how quickly he can go away, and he's going to hang on and make it to the B main. J.J. Yaley making a huge run from deep in the pack here. That's exactly what he needed to do, starting off on the inside of the 8th row in 15th place, and he will go on to yet another main here today.
Wow, what a run for J.J. Yaley. Came out of the D main to start 15th. Race his way to the front, but how about Brandon Welty? Didn't say much about the Sun Prairie, Wisconsin driver. He started up front, led every lap, won the C main, and he's moving on to the B.
Yeah, congrats to everybody really inside of that top 6 because it is a tough gig when you make it to the C main. So congrats to Welty. You're absolutely right. Drought Jr., Welch, Thorson, Cruzman, and Yaley. Excellent racing, and we're just getting started here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. Stay with us. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Dish customers, now you can get the high-speed internet you've been waiting for with DishNet.
We live out in the middle of nowhere. Really, until DishNet came out, there's really not any option but dial-up.
I live in a really small town. I love to Skype with my husband. He's deployed. Having good, reliable internet is very important. If I didn't have the Dish internet, it wouldn't have been able to happen.
Now Dish has the high-speed internet you've been waiting for. DishNet gives you speeds as fast as 4G.
We live out in the middle of nowhere. We had to drive 20 miles into town to check our email, and DishNet has us completely covered.
Now you can connect for less. Call now to get high-speed internet and save $10 a month with DishNet.
With DishNet, we can do anything on the internet we want to do.
Don't settle for slow internet ever again. Dish customers, call the number on your screen now to get DishNet high-speed internet and save $10 a month. Don't wait any longer. Get DishNet today.
Times. But for 7-time off-road champion Carl Renezetter, going to work is half the fun. The General Tire Grabber is engineered to be smooth on the road and tough off-road. So whether you're on the road or off, you can be confident when you're driving. General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Hey, buddy. What's in the box? Oh, that's my speed demon. I bought it from this guy. He said it'd give my car more power. Oh, that? He drank a lot of gas. You wanted more power. Wouldn't this have been smarter? Yes.
E3 spark plugs Diamond Fire technology delivers superior power and exceptional fuel efficiency.
When you need cash, you need it fast. Trust a company that knows speed. Trust a company that goes above and beyond to get you the most money with the lowest payments. Trust a company like Loanmark.
Loanmark's car title loans can turn the equity in your car into quick, convenient cash. You get same-day cash regardless of your credit. Plus, you get to keep and drive your car.
On 1-800-LOANMARK, you take home the fast cash checkered flag.
This time on High Tech Rednecks, the Critter Getter crew have taken on a monster job.
The new paint job should help me pick up some chicks, plus the height of the truck. It should eliminate some of the fat girls because they can't get in it.
Bob decided to take me off to NASA, kind of check out their moon Land Rover thing. Oh, shoot, I'm broken. Just my luck, really.
High Tech Rednecks, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on MAVTV.
You've never experienced off-road racing like this. Join the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series as they take you up close and personal with some of the hottest names in the racing business. Feel like you're part of the action with a front row seat and join the hard-hitting action of off-road racing. Lucas Oil Off-Road, Sundays at 2 on MAVTV.
Back to the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire. C-Main #1 is in the book. C-Main #2 is coming up next, but we're going to show you a recap first here of what happened at C-Main #1. We had a tough go of it at the beginning to try and get things started. But finally, once they settled in, we had a heck of a race, and that guy was right in the middle of it. Of course, he's getting ready for the B main because he has transferred in. That is Corey Cruzman putting some new tear-offs on. Looks like they're checking out the power plant there a little bit. I started to talk about he lost an injector early on in the week, and of course, change that. I mean, it does happen from time to time, not common, but looks like they're doing a little work to that one.
Yeah, you don't want to see the hood come off when you make a transfer from the C to the B. So hopefully they get that thing ready for the first B main coming up after this second C main event.
Now, once again, the crowd on their feet, standing up, shaking those legs out just a little bit. C main #1 recap. Here we go. And right off the bat, it was Welty, the 15 car, who let him cross the stripe. We had some problems.
Yeah, Frank Flood got a little sideways there, kept all four wheels on the ground, kept going as we got back underway. Brandon Welty still out front. Corey Cruzman making some big moves to the front, but it was the young lady Harley White slowing on the racetrack to bring out another caution.
Yeah, as I said, it was kind of a tough start here. A few caution flags.
And a big flip on the back straightaway for Frank Flood. Got some bite, got it on the right rear, up and over. He did climb out under his own power. Good news there, but his week is done.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the car. Of course, was not able to continue on. Again, we got another restart here. Welty able to hang on. We had an incident with the driver sponsored by Cole Wood.
Dominic Selzy there in that 17 car, up and over. His night is done, back underway. Keep an eye on J.J. Yaley trying to race his way into the B main as he goes top shelf, still deep in this field. He used that high line to get to the front. Meanwhile, though, Brandon Welty was spot on as he come out turn 4 there, took the checkered flag. Yaley finishes in the 6th position, the last transfer to move on.
Yeah, coming up from the 15th spot. Very, very impressive for Yaley. So a good run for him as his night continues on. There's a look at the final results for C-Main #1.
You see Yaley there with that 6th and final transfer spot. Tough break for Richard Vanderweerd, Eads Signer, Chris Andrews that round out your top 10. Finishing the top 10 in the C-Main, it might be something, but here at the Chili Bowl, it doesn't mean you're going anywhere. You're done. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the NASCAR Nationwide champion, on the racetrack for our second C-Main event.
All right, here we go. Starting grid. Dustin Morgan on the inside. He'll be on the pole and line up alongside one of the best, and Tim Crawley.
Shane Cockrum to the inside of row 2, and Tyler Thomas in the 91T to the outside.
The number 11 car on the inside of row 3, that is Chase Stockin, and he'll line up alongside one of the legends in Joey Saldana.
Rookie here at the Chili Bowl, Parker Price Miller on the inside of the 9P in row 4, and Austin Brown in the 7B to the outside.
The 57B of Chad Base Blue. He'll line up on the inside of row number 5, and then he'll be alongside the 50 of Daniel Adler.
Inside of row 6, the 73X of Trey Markham from right here in Oklahoma City, and Nick Foss, Western States Midget champ, the 73N.
We go back to row number 7. It's the 35S of Matt Sherrill, one of the locals here out of Oklahoma, and he'll line up alongside the 38 car of Billy Weiss, a Turkey Night Grand Prix winner.
You can see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. from the E main to the D, now into the C in the 6 car inside row 8, alongside second generation driver Nick Knepper.
Back in row number 9, it will be the 3T of Tim Barber out of Fairfield, California, and the 5C of Colton Cottle, that is nephew of the Throttle, Shane Cottle.
Your final row, inside row 10, the 2ST of John Stambro, and also transferring out of the D main from 14th. That would be the 11W of Tyler Courtney. So you see 2 11s out there right now. Chase Stockin and Tyler Courtney, teammates for Wilkie Pack Motorsports. One up front, run at the tail. And when you're a car owner and you bring 3 cars to the Chili Bowl and 2 of them are here in the C main, you're back there chewing on your fingernails.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest names in all of motorsports at Wilkie Pack team, and a little relationship with them, as I recall there, my friend. Dustin Morgan, though, up there on the pole, ASCS competitor out of Owasso, Oklahoma. So everybody here in the stands will be pulling for him, and of course alongside a 3-time champ with the ASCS, Tim Crawley, front row stacked. Here we go. Again, 15 laps here in this C main, the top 6 transferring, trying to get that thing to settle down. Morgan, and we've got one that's going to bring out the caution flag here right off the bat, the number 2 car.
Yeah, that looks like John Stambro, multi-time sprint car champ, and the Hans Lean number 2ST.
Just transferring up as well out of the D main.
Yeah, and he'll have his work cut out for him. No real big
loss
change
here. Yeah,
I mean, he's starting the last row. He's going to get a restart in the last row, and it should be a complete restart because I'm pretty sure we didn't get a lap in. So best finished career for John Stambro in the A main here at the Chili Bowl was a 5th in 2008. Let's take another look at it. Look at the top of your screen, the 2ST car. Not in the shot yet. You can see some of them are pushing each other along there. Top of your screen coming off turn 4.
Pretty deep back in the pack, and yeah, just pulled off there. Hard to see exactly what happened.
A lot of cars, you know, they're up on the bumpers there and pushing these guys along coming off turn number 4, and I think they all got pushed together too much, and Stambro just had to slam on the brake stump to wipe someone out and ended up killing the car. Which, as we said, is no big deal because he was going to start in the tail anyways.
Full restart here. Dustin Morgan brings them back to the stripe. On the throttle they go. On the outside, Tim Crawley hanging right with him. Racetrack. Oh, I was going to say the racetrack looks good. And issues right off the bat again here without getting a good clean start. Tough break for one of the absolute best of all time in that 39 car, the 39C of Joey Saldana. They call him the Brownsburg Bullet, and one of the inside of the top 10 of all-time winners with the World of Outlaws. I mean, he is an absolute machine, but unfortunately something goes wrong here.
Yeah, Billy Weiss also involved. Here's another look at it as they enter turn to number 1, and I think Saldana just got a little sideways there, and someone gave him a little help. Yeah, it looks like Austin Brown helped finish him off, and then Weiss slammed it on the brakes and just nowhere to go. And it's real easy with these 4-cylinder engines as we take another look at it.
In the interest of fair reporting, there was a car on the inside, I think, that checked Joey up just a little bit. So when he checked up, he got tagged in the back. And the combination of it all sent him to the outside, and now he will go to the back of the pack. The Brownsburg Bullet with a lot of work to do. So much success in his career, but one place he's not had any success is here at the Chili Bowl. He's never even made an A main, which is, when you think about it, is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, 5 career attempts. This is his 5th time here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. He finished 13th on his prelim night. Billy Weiss back there, former Turkey Night Grand Prix winner on the half mile at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California. So we'll try it one more time. Again, another complete restart. Some of the drivers in the back of the pack, like Colton Cottle and Tyler Courtney, passing some cars before we even take the green flag. There is, I believe that's Jerry Coons Jr. Jerry Coons Jr. The 3rd entry for Wilkie Pack sitting there, so he's getting ready for his B main event.
And a chance at making history here tonight. He has quite a streak going, and in fact has tied Dave Darland with 10 consecutive A main starts, but is not in the show as of yet. If he can do so, he will set a new record at 11.
See Tim Crawley to the outside. You mentioned 3-time ASCS national champion. We'd love to see the wing guys come over to the Chili Bowl. And much like Joey Saldana, he's not had a lot of success here at the Chili Bowl. Never made the A main. He was 11th in the D main last year, so he won up that by 1 main. Been here 7 times, and just goes to show you, it is very difficult to get into the A main come Saturday night here at the Chili Bowl.
Like everything else, I mean, these cars are unique, and if you don't sit in them all the time and compared to some of the guys that do, you find yourself off just a little bit, and it only takes just a little bit here to find yourself outside looking in. Coming around here one more time, should get the green flag, and we still have a complete restart. Amazing.
15 laps the distance as Dustin Morgan leads him to the stripe. Remember, top 6 go to the show, the B main show, I should say.
Well, they're stacking it up again in the back, trying to run side by side through the entire field.
Looks like that 4-car of Tim Crawley a little bit tight. Might have hooked it up a little bit too much as those guys are slicing and dicing. If it's a little tight, it's hard to get it rotated through the corner. Kind of hope that the track gets a little slick there as the 11 of Chase Stockin from Sullivan, Indiana, working that low part of the racetrack.
Stockin right now in that final transfer spot, but there's a pile of cars back there. They are really dicey.
Yeah, we talked about Wilkie Pack Motorsports. Chase Stockin in his 3rd career race in a midget. 2 of them have been here at the Chili Bowl for Wilkie Pack. There is Dustin Morgan continues to lead. Tim Crawley still battling that race car, trying to slide up in front of Tyler Thomas in that number 91.
When the Morgan there in that number 93 car leader looked like he checked up just a little bit to try and redirect that thing. And again, the front tire's up in the air, and he's just really battling right now. Here comes the 4J of Crawley. Taking a look on the outside.
Yeah, track really starting to widen out now, getting a little bit slick, starting to get a little cushion up over there, especially in turns 1 and 2 as Dustin Morgan tosses a tear off. Crawley around the outside. Morgan has an issue, falls back to 2nd.
Again, Base Blue back deep is 1 spot looking out. The number 11 car, Stockin, is your final transfer spot. As you see, the top 4, 5, and 6, that white number 11, that's the final transfer spot right now.
Trying to get an insurance spot there underneath the 9P of Parker Price Miller, right behind that red 66 of Shane Cockrum, and here comes Chad Baseflug putting a move on the 11 of Stockin, who goes right back underneath.
That's when you have to keep your composure. Right up there beside him, nearly tire to tire. Baseflug leaning on him hard, but he has yet to crack. Stockin doing a great job.
And these guys battle a lot through the year in non-wing sprint cars back in the Midwest, back in the Hoosier State, now going for the 6th and final transfer. If you don't finish in the top 6, your night is done. For Baseflug, first time ever in a midget is this year's Chili Bowl.
And forget about just having the talent to drive one of these things. You have to be able to drive all the cars around you too. You have to know where they're going to go so you can aim where you're going to go. Stenhouse Jr. picking his way up to the front. Now in the 8th spot. Keep your eyes on the number 6 car. He moves up to the 7th spot. 1 more to go, and he's in the transfer.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has that number 6 hooked up on the low part of the racetrack. Gets by Shane Cockrum in the 66. Now tries to run down Chase Stockin, who currently runs 5th. So Stenhouse feeling some pressure again there from Shane Cockrum right now on the bubble.
Cockrum not wanting to give that one up easily. You can get it back, and Stenhouse looking good. Carries the front end just a little bit off of that turn. Right there behind the 11 car of Stockin. Stockin moving up 1 spot, getting a little bit of insurance, if you will, as we go back up to the front. White flag out. 1 more lap for Crawley.
And there goes Chase Stockin trying again to the inside of Parker Price Miller in the 9P. There's Ricky Stenhouse in the 6th and final transfer.
Stenhouse in trouble here. Stenhouse might lose his spot on the last set of turns, and he will. It's going to go back to Cockrum, who steals it.
Welcome back to the Chili Bowl. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., your alphabet soup has just ended. It started in the D, started in the E rather, made it to the D, ends up in the C in a transfer spot. Shane Cockrum says, I don't think so, Nationwide Champ. I'm going to take it from you.
I don't know about you, man. I got goosebumps. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. And that's what we love about this place. There's a look at Crawley coming across for the white flag, followed by Morgan, Thomas, Price, Miller, Stockin, and then Cockrum, as you can see, the red 66. He's the one that's able to sneak by there. And Stenhouse Jr. giving up that final transfer spot in the last set of turns.
And just 2 or 3 cars back, you saw Tyler Courtney, who started dead last and came up a little bit short. Finished up in the 9th position, just 3 spots out of moving on into the B, and fans got to love that race.
Absolutely. Just now sitting down. We can take a little break, man. Everybody sit down for a minute. Incredible. And we need to talk about these fans a little bit, too, because they aren't just your average fans. These people know, man. I mean, they are knowledgeable. They know who the players are. They come here every year. They know the history of this event. It's incredible to watch them get emotionally involved. The cheering, the yelling, the booing, whatever it is, they are in it.
Well, they show up to the Chili Bowl. The drivers, new T-shirt. They go get it. They wear it in the stands. If their favorite drivers' rival T-shirts next to them, they're going to discuss things when those 2 drivers come out on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, lots of Great racing to come. There's a good look at one of the hottest drivers in the world. That is Kyle Larson. He'll be making a run at the first of two B-mains when we return here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals.
The Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, presented by General Tire, is brought to you by
Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. Protect the harvest, standing up for America's farmers, hunters, and animal owners. And by General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Welcome back to the Chili Bowl, where we're watching a class of cars with a long history in America. The Midgets took flight during the Depression. They provided cheap entertainment for fans who couldn't afford any other kind. And there was a time when Hollywood stars were enthralled with Midgets. They flocked to the famed old Gilmore Stadium in Southern California. Over the years, other forms of race cars, think sprint cars, Indy cars, even stock cars, changed a great deal as they evolved. Not so much with the Midgets. If you take away the fat tires and all the safety equipment, these little cars we're watching tonight are very closely akin to their ancestors from the 1930s, and I happen to think that that's a good thing. Now, for the 20 drivers of the Midgets about to take flight here at the Chili Bowl, this is pressure time. They've tried all week to get into the main event. This is their last chance. It's B-main time, boys. Take it away.
Thanks a lot, Dave. And we talk about this event. How about this? 4 different countries represented here, 33 different states. I mean, it is huge as we take a look at the results here for C-main number 2. Again, the top 6, as you can see the line there to the left, transferring into the B.
Yeah, tough break for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chad Base-Fluke, Tyler Courtney again coming from the tail, Austin Brown not moving on to the back of the B main. But, you know, we talk about making it into the A. Sometimes in the C main makes it a good week. Maybe not for a guy like John Stambro there who had some issues, but a lot of big names, a lot of tough drivers from the C's on up into the A. So definitely an accomplishment to get to the C main once in a while, but you always want to move up.
I love it when Dave starts talking about the history of these cars. Such an important part of the American history is these cars, and Dave always does a great job of that. Of course, able to connect the dots as we take a look at some of the players here, and there's one of the best. Jerry Coons Jr. We spoke about his opportunity to make history here tonight, but he is in a absolute stacked B main. To get in will not be easy, but if he can, he takes the streak to 11 consecutive A mains, and that is a new Chili Bowl record. All right, here we go with our starting lineup in the 67K. On the pole will be Rico Abreu, his 4th appearance here, finished 21st in 2012. Darren Pittman alongside the 21 to 2013 World of Outlaws champ.
To the inside of row 2, the 25B from Royersford, Pennsylvania, Steve Buckwalter, former ARDC midget champion. And to his outside, the 71K, we call him Young Money, 20 years old, going for his first career Golden Driller, Kyle Larson.
Our next competitor starting off on the inside of the 3rd row, driving the number 26 car, finished 7th in the A main in 2013. That is Shane Golovic. Then he'll be alongside the 70K of Alex Schutte.
Inside row number 4, the 11A, the 2012 Power Eye Midget Champion. That is Andrew Felker. To his outside, simply known as T-Mez, driving the 16, veteran sprint midget driver Thomas Meserol.
A Triple Crown winner. And then the number 5, starting on the inside of the 5th row, Jerry Coons Jr. He'll be on the inside of the 57N of Matt Mitchell out of Yorba Linda, California.
Inside row 6 from Caney, Texas, finished 9th in his prelim. That's the 15D of Andrew Deal. To the outside, 8th appearance here at the Chili Bowl, still trying to make the A for the first time, the 7JR of Joey Mohan.
Making his 11th appearance at the Chili Bowl, the 31B of Travis Berryhill, trying to make it to his first A main. He'll be alongside the 56J of Darren Hagan, finished 12th in 2012 in the A main.
And your transfers out of the C main, the 15W of Brandon Welty to the inside of row 8 alongside Don Drought Jr. in the 44.
We go back to row 9, 39R of Dylan Welch, of course, and the 67 of Tanner Thorson.
And how about row number 10 on the inside, a 2-time winner of the Chili Bowl, Corey Kruzman. And to the outside from the pole of the D main into the back of the B main from Phoenix, Arizona, J.J. Yaley.
That's worth the price of admission alone. Just watch those two guys come up through the pack here. It's going to be wild for sure. The fans all waving, of course, off to the drivers. It's going to be a good one right here. That is a stack of cars.
Darren Pittman there outside row 1. You mentioned 2013 World of Outlaw champion for Casey Kane Racing. Great 2013. Right behind him, Kyle Larson going Cup racing for Chip Ganassi in 2014, but wants to take the Golden Driller to kick off the year.
Well, and in another week, he will actually be at Daytona running Chip's DP car inside of the new Tudor Series. He's already had some seat time inside of that thing, some 200 miles an hour around Daytona on the road course. So, yes, he has a brilliant future ahead of him. All right, here we go. Some big-time players here. It's time to see if you can make it to the show. Abreu stabs the throttle, takes over the early lead from Pittman.
And Kyle Larson right around the outside part of the racetrack runs in 4th. Pittman into 2nd. Rico Abreu, another really hot driver right now. Look at the bite for Young Money as Larson underneath Steve Buckwalter.
Stands on the throttle, man. Both of those guys carrying the front end. Pittman in 2nd, Larson 3rd, Buckwalter 4th, the top 6 again going into the 8. 20 laps here.
Monster wheelie for Steve Buckwalter. It may look good on the photo, but not good when you're on the racetrack. Not the fastest way around, as Darren Pittman now trying to hold off Kyle Larson for the 2nd spot. Meanwhile, right behind him, that's Golovic on the low line, the black and white 26. Underneath Steve Buckwalter in the 25.
And you'll see these guys run the bottom down there. If they can plant that left front tire up on the inside, it'll actually load up the right rear. They can get a little bit of bite out of it.
Alex Schutte in the 17 have a good run as we see Buckwalter again to the inside of Shane Golovic. Nice little slide job there in turn 3 as Golovic goes right back underneath him. And look at that, the number 5, AutoNet Mobile Wilkie Pack Motorsports. Sorry about your luck entry of Jerry Coons Jr. racing his way to the front.
Coons trying to pick up that spot. He's two spots out right now from that final transfer.
And Thomas Meserol down there as well, playing in the gutter rat line. They say if you run the bottom at the Chili Bowl, it's like having a job, as Thomas goes back to the cushion.
And it looks like the bottom's starting to slick off there just a little bit through the middle. Right there, you can see where he just kind of lost a little bit of grip. So maybe the outside coming in, and that was nearly a wreck right there.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Buckwalter's car is tight enough to get him and keep him in the front. As we go back up front to Rico Abreu, putting on a clinic, about 3 seconds right now ahead of Darren Pittman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we could see a new record here. Coons Jr. is inside the top 6. If he can make it, it's 11 years in a row. Meserol right behind him in 7th. Golovic in 5th, just ahead of him.
Halfway this time by as Darren Pittman holds off Kyle Larson, who runs in that 3rd position for Keith Coons Motorsports. They did a motor change. He had issues on his prelim night. He won the Race of Champions in convincing fashion, but they did do a motor change to get him ready for tonight's feature event.
Yeah, the boys at TRD were working hard. They actually had electronic fuel injected power plant in it. They went back to the mechanical fuel injection. They didn't want to take any chances.
And Alex Schutte, we saw a glimpse of him right there in that 17 car running the top shelf as Coons goes to the inside. Schutte trying to make his first career A-main here at the Chili Bowl in his 3rd try.
There's a number of guys inside of these B-mains that have never made it to the show, and it's just a special moment, as you said at the open, to try and get up in there. You can see Coons again in that white number 5, pressuring hard. He's moved up to 5th now ahead of Golovic.
He's got a little cushion. You can see Shane Golovic way back there, about a half a straightaway as Coons now goes up top, runs in behind Schutte there in that black number 17. Probably hoping for no caution at this point as Kyle Larson in the 71 taking another look now to the inside of Darren Pittman, trying to make it work.
But the thing he's got to do here, and he knows this, and the kid's very smart. You've got to be smart. You don't want to cause a wreck and take both of yourselves out. You're transferred in right now. The win is nice. Don't get me wrong, but you certainly don't want to take a chance.
Kyle Larson gets by Darren Pittman, takes over that 2nd position. We'll go back to the battle for the 6th position now as Shane Golovic is in 6th. Meserol 1 spot out. So it's Rico Abreu, Kyle Larson, Darren Pittman, Alex Schutte, Jerry Coons Jr. top 5 as Golovic holds on to 6th. And now trouble as he jumps the cushion.
Boy, I'll tell you, you can see how hard it is to get one of those cars rotated. He missed the rotation early on. He had everything put into that steering wheel he could, and it just would not turn.
And Rico Abreu working the lap traffic. How about that? Drives right around. A 2-time winner of the Chili Bowl. Slides 2 more cars in 3 and 4 and takes the win here in B-Main number 1.
awesome stuff, and we do have a new record set courtesy of Jerry Coons Jr., making consecutive A mains for 11 years in a row. That is incredible. Congratulations to him.
And Thomas Meserole there in the red number 16, or orange 16, I should say, your 6th and final transfer. So Rico Abreu gets the win. Kyle Larson 2nd. You can see him waving to his fans there as Darren Pittman ends up 3rd. Alex Schutte makes his first career A main at the Chili Bowl. Jerry Coons Jr. 5th, and T-Mez rounds out your top 6.
Man. Yaley making a good run at that, by the way. Works his way up to 11th. Just didn't have enough to charge up through there. Let's go back and show you some highlights here from B main number 1.
Rico Abreu on the pole. Pretty much leaves the rest of the field. He would lead wire to wire, but great racing throughout the field. A lot of good drivers in this first B main as Abreu. You can see him for Keith Coons Motorsports, Gerback at Janie, Toyota Power Plant underneath the hood. The kid's a stud. I mean, he was fast down under in Kiwi Land in Western Springs Speedway. Comes back to the States. He's going to the show.
And Coons, I mean, Coons as a car owner, you can't do any better. A scary moment right there. You can see for Meserole, who was in that final transfer spot. Did have to stay out of the wreck.
Yeah, tough break for Shane Golubic. Looked like he was going to get in the show. Gets up above the cushion, pushes a little bit. That ends his run. He'll be going to the pits.
Once again, just incredible racing, and that's what we see each and every year out here, especially when you get here to the C's and the B's. Trying to work our way down to the A main. We still have a lot of racing yet to go, and we hope you'll stay with us. We'll be right back here with the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals presented by General Tire. At the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire. C main 1 done, C main 2 done, B main 1 done, B main 2 to come. We're going to get it back down to Erin Bates. She's with the winner of B main number 1. Erin?
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, a spectacular battle for Rico Abreu. Congratulations on picking your way through the lap traffic, but you just got off of the track. Will you be doing anything in preparation for the A main?
Yeah, the track's definitely getting freer, so we're going to kill some stagger, kill some air pressure. You know, it's 55 laps. We're going to have a full load of fuel. It's going to be you got to be tight in the beginning just to be good those last 10 laps of this feature. 55 laps is going to be a long time.
Definitely a long race for you guys. But Rico, you're going to be starting in that 7th row. Is it possible to take the win? And if so, how are you planning on picking your way through the pack?
Definitely. You're just going to have to pick them off one at a time. The track's going to pace out there early on. I'm figuring they're going to work it so before the feature, and you're just going to have to pick them off one at a time. And we got fast race cars. Kyle's fast, I'm fast, Christopher's fast, so it's just got to put it all together to win this thing.
Good luck to you tonight, and guess what, you guys? I think we have got a battle on our hands. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. There was a battle on our hands when we came on the air. There's guys everywhere as we show you our B main number 1 results here one more time to get you back up to speed on that. Rico having a great run there.
Yeah, his teammate right behind him, Kyle Larson, followed by Darren Pittman, Alex Schutte, Jerry Coons Jr., Thomas Meserole. That is your top 6. Tough break for Hagan, Shane Golubic, Andrew Felker, Matt Mitchell. The rest of the field unable to get into the A main. But to have a good run in the B main here is almost like winning a race anywhere else in the country.
And once again, let's take a look here at the rest of the results. J.J. Yaley, as you talk about starting in that last row, working his way up to 11th. But his run will end here, unfortunately, as we take a look at the rest of our finishers in B main number 1. All right, let's get it down to Dave Arterbright.
Guys, that last race went green to checkered. Somewhat unusual here at the Chili Bowl, especially on these preliminary races. That it makes for good television, great entertainment, but it's a very challenging scenario for the guys in the back who need to move forward. They need some caution, some spins, things like that to bunch everybody up so they can get a run at somebody on a restart. Green to checkered, a real tough proposition when you're trying to race your way into this thing.
Absolutely, Dave. I can remember as a crew chief sitting up on that ramp yelling, throw a caution, throw a caution. You want to throw a bottle of soda out on the track to get that caution, because if you're starting deep in the field and you don't have a caution, I mean, it's very difficult to get your way to the front. And as you can see, the fans are having a good time here tonight.
Yeah, well, while the village people entertain the fans, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Kevin Swindell looking to make history, as he could be the first driver to ever go back-to-back here in the 25-year history of the Chili Bowl. Side by side, father and son going for it.
5 laps to go in the 2011 Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. The Bulldog out in front.
Sammy off the bottom, slides it right up into the side of Beason. Sammy looking for grip anywhere he can possibly find it. Just cannot get any. Beason runs into the back of Sammy.
White flag coming out this time by for Kevin Swindell as Sammy working the low line. The Bulldog up on top. Pickens with his hands full at Jonathan Beason. 1 lap to go.
Here comes Sammy one more time, trying to pull up the slide job on his son. Around the back straightaway. Pickens pushing him. Sammy down to the bottom. Streamers are coming down. Sammy with the early lead. Oh, too close to call.
Kevin Swindell jumps the cushion in turns 3 and 4 and holds off his old man by about an inch.
A very exciting finish to that race, as you can see there, and those two have been incredible at this particular event, as we've documented so far. Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, presented by General Tire. 3 races in the books. B-Main number 2 lining up, coming out here, getting ready to go. And again, this B-Main is just absolutely stacked with the best of the best. Pretty amazing stuff, though, when you start showing those final laps from previous years. Let's show you who's in B-Main number 2. On the inside, on the pole, the 4-time consecutive winner and reigning champ here at the Chili Bowl, the 39 car of Kevin Swindell. He'll line up alongside the 2009 Golden Driller from the shootout, Gary Taylor.
Inside of row 2, the driver out of Sunset Hills, Missouri, 3-time Power Ride champ, ASCS national driver. That is Mitch Residement. Brad Loyette to his outside from Hollister, California. He ran 5th in his preliminary night, the 56 of Ryan Burnell.
Coming out of Riverside, California, on the inside of row number 3, the 56L finished 4th in 2012 of the A-Main, Danny Stratton. He'll line up alongside the 71C of Shane Cottle. His 15th appearance here for the Little 500 winner, finished 2nd in 2000.
Brad Kuhn lining up inside row number 4 in the 10 car, picked up his 9th career midget title 1 year ago. He's out of Avon, Indiana. To his right, son of the 1997 Chili Bowl winner, Billy Boat. The 15X from Phoenix, Arizona is Chad Boat.
Driving for the legendary Wilkie Pack team, the number 24 of Tracy Hines, making his 16th appearance. It was 2005 when he picked up his Golden Driller here at the Chili Bowl. He'll line up alongside the 51J of R.J. Johnson, the AMRA champ from Phoenix.
Inside row 6, the 39T from Texas ran 9th in his prelim. He was 7th in the K-Main 1 year ago. He's upped it by a few here this year. That's Peyton Pierce. And to his outside, the multi-time CRA Sprint Car champion from Temecula, California, the 51S of Mike Spencer.
The 7M is on the inside of row number 7. That is Kevin Ramey making his 5th Chili Bowl appearance and looking for his first appearance in an A-Main. He's on the inside of Bacon Fifth, the number 99 of Brady Bacon from Broken Arrow. Talk about a fan favorite. They'll be cheering for Brady.
Tim Crawley making his way from the C into the back of the B. He'll line up inside row number 8 in the 4J. Still looking to make his first career A-Main here at the Chili Bowl in his 7th try. And to his outside, his fellow ASCS national competitor from right here in Owasso, Oklahoma, the 93 of Dustin Morgan.
Again, coming out of the C-Main, the 91T of Tyler Thomas on the inside of row number 9, and on the outside will be the 9P of Parker Price Miller.
In your 10th and final row on the inside, former MSCS Rookie of the Year out of Sullivan, Indiana, the 11 of Chase Stockin. And rounding out your field, the driver that made his way into the A-Main with an awesome move, the 66 of Shane Cochran.
Yeah, kept one of the biggest names in the house here out of the show. And speaking of big names in the house, none any bigger than that one right there. Of course, the Spike chassis. John builds a great car coming out of Brownsburg, Indiana, our hometown as well. He comes out of Germantown, Tennessee. Kevin Swindell we're talking about. He has a crazy fast car. I mean, to see him come through the C, then through the B like we saw on the prelim night, and nearly make the show, like you said. I mean, well, actually was in that transfer spot, lost it by just a little bit on that last lap.
Yeah, the thing about Kevin and Sammy Swindell here at the Chili Bowl is, A, they never make any mistakes. B, they never have a mechanical failure when they're on the racetrack. And their car is lightning quick through the slick part of the racetrack, through the middle of the corner. They just have a setup that works perfectly here at this track, as you see the multi-time midget champion, Brad Kuhn, there out of Avon, Indiana, in the 10.
On this B main, I mean, we look at stacked C's and B's, but when we took the sheet out, we took a look at the drivers inside of this one. I mean, I will tell you that a lot of people say you'd be hard-pressed finding an A main anywhere else in the country that has these drivers in it. I would venture to say you would not find an A main anywhere else in the country with the level of competition that's inside of this B.
Well, there's easily, just off the top of my head, 25 championships in this B main. You see Tracy Hines there, former Chili Bowl winner, did it with the Wilkie Pack team here in the Bob Parker number 24 Toyota power plant underneath the hood. He's again going to have to race his way in, trying to pick up his second career Golden Driller, as it looks like we're going to go green next time around.
They call them the Mighty Midgets. They were once called small cars, almost called the 110 Offies. But the Mighty Midgets have stuck it out through 1933. 81 years they've been racing these Mighty Midgets, and here we go. We're going to fill out the A main.
Kevin Swindell off turn 2 leads him as teammates going at it side by side into turn number 3. Brad Loyette, Gary Taylor for Joe Loyette there as the 56 car. Danny Stratton takes over second.
Stratton doing a great job down underneath there. We talked about his success in the A main. When he gets up in there, he has a fast car and a good correction right there. You see the slide job starting to happen.
Yeah, that is the throttle Shane Cottle there in the 71C for Indy Race Parts. Bernie Stubjen, another Toyota power plant, as Brad Loyette working the low line back underneath him, almost into the side there of Danny Stratton.
And you're really watching a dance of professionals here, ladies and gentlemen. These guys race with each other night in and night out. They can almost read what the other guy's thinking at any given moment. Consequently, they make their adjustments early, and then they can attack again.
Still a lot of bite in this racetrack. Up on top, down low, you see Tracy Hines in that yellow number 24 car right behind Gary Taylor. Working the low part of the racetrack, the Boatster, Chad Boat there as well. The Lawson Rock and Oil B&B number 15. The other 56 there, 56R, Brian Burnell as well, as again Tracy Hines. He likes the low part of the racetrack here at the Chili Bowl, and right now he's making it work.
Yep, Boat just outside right now looking in. Has made it to the A main on a couple of different occasions. His best finish in the A main a year ago when he finished 23rd, but right now needs to pick up one more spot past Hines if he can get it done. Hines now around Taylor. Boat needs to get around Taylor.
Yeah, I think Tracy Hines is pretty much committed to the low part of the racetrack. As you look at Gary Taylor right now, he is in the 5th position. T. Hines there in the 24, the 6th and final transfer spot is Chad Boat, goes top shelf, rides the cushion, passes them both, and takes over 4th. Now Tracy Hines moves up there.
Go up there and run off that cushion if you can, and it really looks like the track is good on the bottom and the top right now. Depending on how your car is set up, if you can take advantage of the top and carry some momentum, which means somebody cannot check you up somewhere along the way, you might be able to pick up a couple like Boat just did.
Yeah, that cushion in excess of 4 or 5, somewhere 6 inches, it'll turn into a ledge here shortly. When you run about 7-8 pounds in that right rear, if you don't hit it sideways, meaning if you hit it straight, you can not only rip the tire right off the wheel, but you can go for a big ride. Chad Boat doing a great job there in that 15 to the inside of Shane Cottle as he makes it work. Great battle.
And for our new fans, the cushion that we're talking about is at the very top of the track. You can see where the dirt changes colors, and it really piles up. That gives those guys something to drive off of.
Chad Boat in 4th, Shane Cottle back there in 5th, Gary Taylor 6th, Tracy Hines in 7th right there. You see that red car, the maroon car I should say, that's Brad Kuhn in the 10 as Burnell doing some wheelies there off the corner.
Shane Cottle now inside the transfer. Tracy Hines is outside looking in. Kuhn outside looking in. Boat in 4th. Swindell still out front.
Yeah, he's cruising around here, starting on the front row. And for Kevin Swindell to run a B main, find out what the track likes, find out what his car likes on the track. I mean, this could be huge for Kevin Swindell coming out of the B.
And something I will tell you, too, he's actually eliminating one of his competitors by doing this, because he could use a provisional and go in, which means we would have a 25-car field. He says no, and the 05 right there. turned it completely sideways, somehow gathered it all back up. Taylor making a nice save. Loyette in the 05 as well. I believe that was actually Loyette, not Taylor.
Yeah, that was Brad Loyette getting sideways. Of course, his teammate got the same exact car out there as Tracy Hines, still in that 6th and final transfer spot, and Ryan Burnell stops on the racetrack in the 56R. He was running, I believe, around 9th. Burnell started outside row 2 in the 4th position, so you know, not the handle on the race car, the handle on the racetrack as he gets turned around.
4th time here at the Chili Bowl, has never made it to the A main. 1 year ago, finished 15th in the B main.
Yeah, we talked about it in the preliminary night. He finished 5th. They take the top 3, and he was 2 spots out of getting locked in, and that's how it changes here at the Chili Bowl. Look at the right side of your screen, and looks like he got a little help. I think he had someone back there helping him around there in turn 4.
Might be an interesting moment in the pits. Get a little wild out there. You can see the front shocks are covered up there, protected from shrapnel and dirt and spray, the roost that comes off the cars, so a lot of the guys will cover them up.
And if you look at these race cars, pretty much all the cars here, coil over front end suspension, torsion bar rear suspension, about 65 inches, give or take. And again, not a lot of rules here at the Chili Bowl for the wheelbase there.
And John, owner of Spike, creating those race cars for the Swindells in that unique tail section that now a few of them have. Let's get it down to Dave Arterbright.
Guys, Brad Kuhn, everybody's got a lot on the line here. Brad Kuhn making his final appearance in a race car this weekend. He's had a great career in midget racing. He's going to retire and focus on the family business and investment that he's made. But this is it for him. He really wants to transfer into this thing to go out in style by making the A-main. He's 1 spot out in that number 10. We got to keep an eye to see if his dreams are fulfilled to make this A-main.
Well, we'll see how things shake out, at least as it shows right now in timing and scoring. We've got him in 8th, so he would need to pick up a couple of spots.
Yeah, it looks like he sits in 8th, Tracy Hines in 7th. So Shane Cottle there in that black and white number 71 on the bubble in 6th. Cottle, Hines, Kuhn, Loyette, Taylor, Bubby. These guys race each other 50, 60, 70 times a year. Now they're racing each other to get into the biggest race of the year. Shane Cottle tries to put a move on there, and it might cost him as Hines had a good run off the low line in turn 2 as Kevin Swindell on cruise control.
Big hit right there. Boy, Taylor really taking a hard shot from the 71 car, and he is going to hang on to that spot, and they go 3-1 to the turn.
That's Brad Kuhn trying to make a move here. Tracy Hines in the 24, Kuhn in the 10, Shane Cottle in the 71. How about Kevin Ramey, the wing sprint car driver, trying to get up in the mix?
Swindell out front, picks up the white flag all by himself, followed by Stratton. Here's the battle right here. They are 4 deep for this final transfer spot. Inside, outside, who's going to get it done? The 71C was in the spot last time around. Will he be able to hang on? Oh, we've got one into the fence.
I think Cottle got fed a wheel, possibly by Brad Kuhn there. And Shane Cottle is not a guy you want to mess with. There's a reason they call him the throttle, and it's not all related to race cars.
By the way, Ramey coming out of nowhere makes it into the show. Kuhn 1 spot out. There's a look at your winner, of course, and yep, he's got something on his mind.
So Kevin Swindell gets the win. Danny Stratton 2nd, Chad Boat 3rd, Brad Loyette 4th, Tracy Hines 5th, Kevin Ramey 6th, and Brad Kuhn 7th. I think what happened is Kuhn got into Cottle, flipped him over, and while he did that, Kevin Ramey scooted right on by. So Shane Cottle, like I said, not a guy you want to upset, especially if you're Brad Kuhn in your final race of the year. Might not be the way you want to end your career.
And as you can see, he's one of the larger fellas that climbs out of one of these cars. I mean, he can throw down pretty good. Wild stuff. Welcome to the Chili Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. It is on, and the A main has been settled. We'll start it up when we come back. Stay with us. We're having a party in Twin Peaks and Tulsa. We're having a party here in Tulsa as well. It's the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire. We're in the Tulsa Expo Raceway, and of course a lot of people all across the country enjoying a lot of great racing as well, including the beach ball that is flying around here. It usually gets a little more creative than that, too. You have to be careful where we aim the cameras.
Anything you can put air into will fly around here at the Chili Bowl.
All right, we're going to bring you some highlights from B-Main number 2. It was pretty wild, especially the last lap. Got a little ugly. Kevin Swindell up on the pole, got them all started, then a pair of 05s right behind him, Taylor and Loyette.
Yeah, Kevin Swindell pretty much on cruise control this entire race. He got out front, was really working the bottom, the top, to see what his car likes here at this racetrack. Good to see him make the show and try and get his 5th straight. But late in the race, it was all about the transfer spot. Shane Cottle there in that 71 puts a move on Brad Loyette, who gets right back by. Shane Cottle works the low line again in the 71 and goes right back by again by the 05 of Brad Loyette. Tracy Hines would get up into the mix. Gary Taylor would be in the mix as Loyette slicing and dicing. It was Kevin Swindell, though, Ken, as we talked about, cruise control, and drove it in there, got the cushion, pushed up a little bit, says, that's okay, I got a big enough lead in. It's all good.
Yeah, kind of dodged the bullet there, and then as we come down to a little bit later on into the race, you can see they were getting into each other a couple times, a couple spin outs, and as we got towards the very end of the race, it got really dicey here. The guys knew it was now or never, and the hits started happening.
Yeah, Shane Cottle got into the side there of Gary Taylor, and wheel to wheel, it's okay. As Kevin Swindell got the win, though, checker flag came out. You see the top right of your screen, Shane Cottle into the fence, front end folded, and the steering wheel gets tossed,
yes,
which is can happen here from time to time, and he's not too happy. We saw him run off back into the pits, and my guess is he's having a little word with Brad Kuhn.
Yeah, and there's a look at the top 6, and of course they make it into the back of this A-main, so it is settled. The A-main is set up. Brad Kuhn 1 spot out. Tyler Thomas, Brady back in there as well, unfortunately, as you take a look at the rest of the players there in the second B-main. So a wild race. Let's get it down to Aaron Bates. She's with the 4-time champ. He's going to have a crack at 5, Aaron.
Dal has had a very tough week of racing already, but Kevin, was there ever a moment where you started to second guess that your win streak might come to an end, and what does it mean to you personally to know that you still have the chance to keep it alive?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was over as soon as the tire went flat in the heat race, you know, and these races, they aren't very long to get from the back, and to pass that many cars as we did, just to make the A on the prelim night was big, and then to kind of bail out, you know, a green to checkered race and get that far. So it was good. You know, the scary part was knowing I had the provisional, and no matter what, I was in the race, but I just, you know, you definitely don't want to start 25th. You'd rather start at, you know, 14th like we are. So it was in the back of my mind not to tear the thing up, because I was in the race, and if you don't have anything to race on Saturday, it wouldn't be very good.
Now you have your car set up perfectly to race a short 20-lap race. Will you guys be making any adjustments to your equipment to race the full 55 laps?
A little bit. You know, we'll kind of see how they mess with the track here, and what we need to do to make sure we're good enough early, especially for me to pass cars. But you know, luckily with the Super Shocks on there, we have a lot of adjustment inside the car for me to play with, and we can kind of set them up to go at the beginning, and then I can work with it as the race goes on, and just keep fine-tuning it to the way the track goes.
Best of luck to you tonight. Love them or hate them, you have to respect the Swindells. They're legendary here. Dave, Despain, take it away.
Folks, let's think for a minute about all the homes that indoor racing has had in America over the years, from the Cow Palace in San Francisco to that Expo short track in Tunica, Mississippi, from the Fort Wayne Coliseum to Madison Square Gardens. I remember the first indoor race I saw, Cobo Arena in Detroit. Polished concrete floor, they poured Coke syrup on it, smeared it around to make traction, and raced motorcycles around in little bitty circles. It was kind of Mickey Mouse. In fact, a lot of racing is kind of Mickey Mouse when you have to take it indoors. But when it's 13 to below zero outside, believe me, those race-hungry fans are not complaining about getting a little action. However, when you talk about the Chili Bowl, this place is anything but Mickey Mouse, and here's the reason why. The giant building enables the construction of a track nearly a quarter-mile long. A very racy track indeed, thanks to the guy who takes care of it. Emmett Hahn told us how he manages to keep
busy in here for the better part of a month for sure. All right, once again, let's go back down to Dave Argerbright.
One of the coolest things to start with here at the Chili Bowl is this amazing building, the Expo Center. It was originally built as an exposition center for the petroleum industry with all this freestanding space so they could exhibit all these gigantic pieces of equipment they use for their industry. 448,000 square feet here, the great majority without any pillars or posts impeding anything. That leaves us room for this great little racetrack, a huge amount of seating, enough pit area back here for almost 300 race cars, and back here in the corner, a full-blown trade show with a whole bunch of exhibitors. All of it fits in this amazing building, all of it unique, part of what really drives the annual allure here at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, I think on Manufacturers Midway there, you can find a couple of those books by our Hall of Famer, Mr. Dave Argerbright. He'll sign one for you.
He enjoys signing books, I think. and who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
All right, well, let's get it back down to the stage because our Dave Despain is sitting alongside a very important person here, a big name whenever it comes to motorsports, and he's here for a great cause. Dave?
What a pleasure to welcome one of those aforementioned big-time NASCAR stars to the MAVTV coverage of the Chili Bowl. Casey Kane, what's the most fun thing for you about coming to Chili Bowl?
Well, I think, man, just after a little bit of an off season to come here and the fans and all the cars, you can race, you know, you get some practice, some racing in, and it's just, it's exciting, it's fun, it's nice to be at the track, and it takes a week, so it's a nice week to enjoy and race and smell a ton of fumes.
We've heard it described as a party where a race breaks out in the middle of it. That's probably fairly accurate. You had a special reason for wanting to come this year. You've been away a couple of years. Tell me about the Jason Leffler tribute.
Yeah, it started with, you know, Bob East and Janice East and Juliana, Jason's girlfriend, and they built a car and wanted it to be very similar to something that Jason would have built or would have driven. And so the car was really light and really nice. And Tony Stewart supported the whole thing, got behind it, his guys, and so they asked me to drive, and it was pretty neat to be in the 71. The car looks really similar to what I think Jason's first TQ Midget looked like. And
I've seen pictures of that car.
Yeah,
you guys did a nice job with that.
Minus Great Clips and Sage Fruit and John Christner Truck and some of the sponsors we got on it. But you know, so it's a great car. It's a really nice piece. It's lightweight, everything that you'd want at the Chili Bowl. And then the fans get involved, which the fans always support so much of what we do, and to support the tribute car, the memorial car for Jason, and Charlie Dean's pretty neat. So they get involved and sign up to win the car in a raffle after the race tonight. And some lucky fan's going to have a very nice midget.
Charlie Dean, of course, Jason's son, and a great kid, and it's a wonderful thing that you've done, and hats off to you for that. Let me ask you, speaking of Cup drivers going out and running other kinds of racing, has Tony Stewart's broken leg caused owners to reevaluate you guys' opportunities to do things like this?
Yeah, I think it's made everybody look at it a little more. The sponsors as well. The sponsors have got a little more involved. So that, you know, you look at those, and not just Tony's deal, but, you know, I felt like last year for sprint car racing was a tough year. There was some things that happened that, you know, just, you know, fluke deals and bad situations and things like that. So it was a tough year for that. There was a ton of great sprint car racing. They race all over the country, and there's so many sprint car teams and racers, and very little things happen. But some big deals did happen at times last year, and that hurt it. And so yeah, I don't know what my future is as far as running these cars a whole lot, but you know, because I love running the Sprint Cup car as well. So we'd just have to figure that out with Mr. H.
The fans know how much you guys love this, and they appreciate you for it. Thank you for what you've done for Jason's memory and also for the Chili Bowl. It's been a fun weekend. It's great to see you again. Good luck at Daytona.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and thanks to all the fans who have supported it, because that's what it's all about, and that's how we've been able to raise money. We did a left turn hat that, I mean, we sold like 10,000 hats in 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
Maybe less than that. And now with this, and so many people, Great Clips, and a lot of people have really supported Jason Leffler and the Charlie Dean Fund. So it's pretty neat.
We're going to get Charlie Dean a good education out of this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey. The race driver conversation continues after the commercial break. I have a new show coming in the spring, interviewing race car drivers. We have a preview featuring the Swindells talking about the Chili Bowl. We'll be back right after this.
Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, presented by General Tire, is brought to you by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine, now available nationwide. Shine responsibly. And by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source.
The top 24 are settled. The A main will begin here in just a little bit. Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, presented by General Tire here at Tulsa Expo Raceway. The stands are packed, and hey, we want you to join us right here on MAVTV. Again, we're going to come to you live from the East Bay Winter Nationals, February 13th. That is a Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. And, of course, we'll be covering all the action from the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series as they are in the beginning of the 2014 season. The run will be on. There's a good look at the Kentucky Colonel. And, of course, the multi-time champ of the O Show, Jimmy Owens, will be attacking once again to try and stay ahead of the absolute best of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series drivers. All right, as you take a look at the fans here, everybody stretching their legs just a little bit before the start of this A main. We're going to get it back down to Dave Argabright. And Dave, as you well know, there's a lot of important people here that walk around, the VIPs, if you will.
One of the great things of walking the pits here at the Chili Bowl is you really have no idea who you're going to run into. You run into legendary people from all walks of the sport, coast to coast, past and present. It's really cool. We had a chance to catch up with some people here tonight.
Well, I think it's the excitement, number one. You know, 300 and 300 plus midget race cars and everybody connected with it. Coming back, seeing old friends, people that I started racing with back in the 60s, and so it's, you know, it's just something you look forward to.
So anytime I can come back, race, and see all the fans that I grew up seeing, it's a neat event, and definitely one of the best, and one that I always look forward to.
Oh yeah, you know, you get to see all your friends, you know, and because I've raced all around the country, and so I get to see people from the East Coast, the Midwest, California, you know, Washington, Canada, everywhere, Australia. So yeah, it's a good old home week for us.
It's such a unique environment, and you know, I miss out on this type of racing. So when I get to come, especially in the off season, and watch, it's really worthwhile.
Well, I see a lot of my old friends that I raced with, and I bring up humorous stuff from the past, and we all get a laugh, and don't have to worry about tires or gears now. So we all have a good time. We eat. I dance every night at the dance hall. Race in the afternoon, so everything's good.
Now, the downside to all this is when you miss the Chili Bowl, you sit at home and pout because you know all your friends are here and you're missing it. It's like the greatest party in the world and you didn't get invited. Tough deal. Let's go back to Dave.
Argabright hanging out with the heroes up there. That's a good gig. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about second-generation stars. Think about it. Football, basketball, baseball, once in a while you'll see a second-generation star, but in racing it happens all the time, and I think there's a good reason for that. In the stick and ball world, the taxpayers and the alumni pay for the sticks, the balls, the playing field, the opportunity for every eager 9-year-old to go all the way to highly paid superstar and never pay a dime out of their own pocket. It's different if the kid wants to race. Somebody's got to pay for it. Usually mom and dad. Racer kids learn the game, practice their fundamentals, go to practice, go to the race on the weekends, and never mind all the money spent on the equipment thanks to mom and dad. So I don't think it's any big surprise that Kevin Swindell is a product not of the American sports system, but of the devotion of his parents, Sammy and Amy. For inspiration, all Kevin had to do was look across the dinner table. But what about the question of how the Swindell family have been able to win 9 Chili Bowls? That's a different deal entirely. I sat father and son down for an upcoming edition of the new Dave Despain show here on MAVTV and asked them about the Chili Bowl.
The pressure
year after year when you win and then you win again and then you win again? Is it more or is it less? I mean, the likelihood that anybody's ever going to break this record seems about that much, so maybe that takes the pressure off.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, it's going to be hard for somebody to get to that, but I think at the same time, it's you know, the more you win, the more expectation is there is nothing else you can do but win. You know, and I kind of feel like now if I show up and I kind of flounder or run, you know, 5th or 6th or something like that, it's just going to kind of be like he never was really that good and just got lucky all these years. And you know, so it's pretty much to the point where if you don't win, it pretty much ruins it all, almost feeling.
So if it comes down to it, the two of you battling again as you have in the past, the question is, you know, would you move your kid? Would you move your dad to win the Chili Bowl?
Well, it just depends on the situation, I guess. You know, you're talking about moving is not so bad. Wrecking is not so good. So it's definitely better to finish. And since I do own both cars, it's better to have both cars finish.
I mean, I think it kind of comes down to do what you got to do a little bit. I think it wasn't intentional last year, but I got him a little bit, you know, just thought he was going to go somewhere else, and he didn't. And then I think he kind of got me back there at short track in a sprint car here a little while back. So I guess we're even right now, and, you know, we'll see if the opportunity presents itself. But
just like two racers racing each other, not father and son. So both of you make me a prediction. What are the chances that we will see a 6th consecutive Swindell family win tonight?
Well, it's not out of the question, that's for sure. You know, it's from the way our cars ran qualifying, you know, I feel that we've got, you know, the same chance. I mean, just to go through this many times and be, you know, as fortunate as we have, I mean, that's a part of it. You can easily get caught up. I mean, when, you know, Larson spun the year before, there was just enough room for me to get by. You know, if there hadn't been that room, then I would have been in the back. You know, what we're able to do is just have cars that are pretty adjustable, and it seems like they get better and better as the run goes on, where most guys get, you know, actually go the other way. So I want to be the fastest at the end and hopefully be in the right place, you know. So I think we've got as good a chance as anybody, but still, you never know.
Given all the things that you know can happen, how confident are you about extending the streak?
I mean, I think, you know, I've been able to do it the last 4 years, and I don't think I've done anything but get a little better as the years go on here. And you know, definitely the cars are there, and I think we've, you know, we've been very good over the 55 laps, even more so than we have on the prelim nights. So as long as you can get yourself positioned and just be there with a shot, I think it'll be fine. You know, I've led every lap of this race, and I've been 10th at halfway and still won. So it's just making sure you have a car, and it's kind of to finish first you must finish.
I'm confident you've been waiting for this moment to tell me the secret of the Swindell Chili Bowl cars. I'm ready. What's the secret?
They're very fast.
That is a classic Sammy Swindell answer.
That's the secret. So, you know, it's when we decide not to come back, I'll come and fill you in on exactly what it is.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's been a great family success story. Go out there and write another chapter in it tonight. Good luck to both of you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Dave Despain Show is coming this spring to MAVTV. From rising stars to racing legends. We'll talk to them all. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I hope you'll make it a regular viewing habit. We're going to take a commercial break and come back. They are prepping the track and getting set for 24 cars to go 55 laps and answer the big question. Can the Swindells win again in the Chili Bowl Midget National?
Get ready.
Check out the crowd. I call them connoisseurs, even though most of the multitudes here might not appreciate, say, a Chateau Lafite Rothschild. Unlike American beer, fine wine does not benefit from that little patina of dirt track dust on the top of the paper cup. But trust me, these folks know their stuff. They have sophisticated tastes in dirt track. They understand heavy, rubbered up, dry slick, cushion. They know the game. They understand the players, and they have very strong preferences about the outcome. And so I would like to propose a toast to all of you dirt track connoisseurs. I think you have great taste.
Thanks a lot, Dave, and welcome, fans, to our humble abode. This is where we do our work, our office for the night, and it's been a lot of fun. All the great racing action starting last Tuesday, and then, of course, all day long today up through the alphabet soup, but it's time now for the A-Main. Before we do that, congratulations to you, Dave. He has survived nearly the entire night out there with the animals. It's going to get crazier, though, before it gets better, and rightfully so. If you can make it to the A-Main here, you have already beat a lot of really talented people, and this could be a career changer.
Absolutely, it could be a career changer. And your goal, like you said, when you get to the Chili Bowl, is to make the A-Main. It's a lot like the World Series of Poker. You want to make that final table. It takes a long time to get there and a lot of hard work. You got to have a good car. You got to have a good driver. But you also have to be a little lucky. You get in the show, the Chili Bowl Saturday night, congratulations, right home. Tweet the mom. Let her know, hey, I'm going to be on live TV. But if you can finish up front, get on the podium, or even win that Golden Driller, that's something that's historic. Not a lot of drivers have done it. And if you can, put it down on the hero card. You're going to be going places.
One young man is hoping that he can do that here tonight, and he's going to sit on the pole for the first time ever in his young career here at the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals, and our Dave Argerbright's with him.
Thanks, Ken. Almost 300 race cars here this weekend, but this guy, by virtue of his starting spot tonight, really #1 going into this main event. Caleb, do you feel pressure because of that?
Yeah, there's really no pressure, just another race and another racetrack, and be leading these 24 cars with the green flag, and hopefully we can stay up there and run up front.
You got some big dogs that are going to be behind you tonight. Does that enter your mind at all?
No, just big names. That's all they are to me. I mean, just another race, and I think we can stay out front, and I think we got a good shot at winning.
He is indeed running with a good shot at winning. Got a great week going. Now let's hear from our friend Aaron Bates.
Thanks, Dave. Christopher Bell is a young driver that comes into this event with a lot of momentum. And Christopher, you've had a terrific week going so far. You won your preliminary night, and you're starting front row outside. What emotions are you experiencing right now?
Definitely a little bit anxious right now. I mean, I know we got a good car underneath me, so the rest of it's up to me to just not make mistakes and try and put 55 flawless laps together.
You're a young driver. You're going to run into a lot of lappers, some big dogs with a lot of experience nipping at your heels. Are you prepared to handle the pressure?
I think so. This year I've been pretty fortunate to be running with Keith Kuhn's Motorsports and been running in some pretty prestigious events, but Chili Bowl is definitely on the top of that list. So it's my first Chili Bowl A-Main, so we'll see what happens.
Christopher Bell, he is looking to become the first home state driver in a long time to take a win here at the Chili Bowl. Ken, take it away.
We certainly look forward to that, but don't think if you're on the front row it's an automatic win. Those guys know it's not. There's some talent deep inside of this field, and all those fans are looking forward to watch them go at it. We hope you'll stay with us because we are just moments away from starting the starting the A-Main of the 28th running of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. We're back here at the Tulsa Expo Raceway with the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire. Just a few moments away from the start of the A-Main here, the 28th running of this prestigious event. The field is stacked. Hey, make sure you join us on February 22nd. Once again, we'll bring you some great live programming. This time it's going to be the King of the Cage, Radar Lock. Live on MAVTV, February 22nd at 10 p.m. That is a Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are live on MAVTV now. Hope you're enjoying it. We want to throw a quick little nod out to our good friends, the Pattersons, who I'm sure are home watching in California. Hope you're enjoying the show as well. This is an awesome event here, and once again, you can see all the fans just waiting for this A-Main to get started. And again, some very prestigious names in the house. Let's get it back down to Dave Argerbright.
You know, the Chili Bowl crew here, the officials, the track prep guys, very, very efficient and effective. In the few moments since that last B-Main, they hurried out on the racetrack with some equipment, scratched the entire surface, top to bottom, opened it up, sprinkled it with a water truck, and now you see these vehicles behind me wheel packing it to smooth it back down into race form here. Now, what that does, two different things. It makes the racetrack better, very little dust because there's more moisture. It also sends these teams scrambling just a little bit to adjust their cars because the characteristics of this racetrack are going to be slightly different than the racetrack everybody was just on for the 2Bs in the previous races. That's the essence of dirt track racing. It's an imperfect science. Now we're going to see here in a few minutes who gets that science right and can win this thing.
It is an absolute science, and some of these guys are incredibly good at it.
Well, you know that they're going to rework the racetrack before the A-Main. They do it pretty much every year. The question is, how much are they going to rework it? What was your car like if you had to come through a B-Main, or if you were locked in? What was it like in A-Main hot laps? What the track was like at that point versus what it's like now. Now, for 55 laps, it's going to change a lot between lap number 1 and lap number 55, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be good on both of those 2 laps.
And that's where the experience comes in, the previous years, knowing what this dirt's going to do. And there's Smoke down there, chatting with a few friends, and of course the staff as well. And of course, Tony Stewart, a big proponent. He said if there was one race he could run a year, this would be the one. He loves this place, and of course he's proved it many, many times. And he gets back inside of a midget car or sprint car. And now they're taking a few pictures. Our good friends from General Tire, Emmett Hahn down there as well. Tony Stewart making the rounds.
His daughter, Donna Hahn, there. They do a lot with the Chili Bowl, and of course, the ASCS National Tour. I believe Tony Stewart picking up an award for Dirt Ambassador. So, pretty cool deal for Smoke.
Absolutely. All right, once again, we're going to take a quick break, turn this thing around, come back, and let's go racing. Stay right back. Ah, yes, the track is just about ready to go here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals, presented by General Tire. The A-Main just around the corner here at the Tulsa Expo Raceway. Ken Stout and Rob Klepper here calling all the action for you. Also joined by Dave Argerbright and Aaron Bates down in the pits doing an awesome job. And, of course, we have welcomed Dave Despain to the show, to the network, and to the Chili Bowl. Great to have you here, Dave. Certainly proud to work with you. He brings a wealth of knowledge and a whole bunch of experience. I know he's going to think that's a shot at me calling him old, but he brings a lot of experience, and we really enjoy having him here. All right, let's get it back down to Dave Despain. Speaking of Dave.
I am old. What are you talking about? Listen, I want to go right back to you guys, because I listened to those interviews with the kids on the front row, and I was kind of intrigued by the difference in the attitudes. Both young, both fast. Oklahoma versus Indiana. You've got this great matchup with all the big stars and big names and veterans behind them. Caleb Armstrong says, nah, it's just another race. Said it twice, which I thought made it a little bit suspect. So who's telling the truth? Caleb, who says it's just another race, or Christopher Bell, who says, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, you know, if it's me, I think Caleb's doing his best to keep the nerves out of the program because, I mean, he's a young man and he knows what's behind him. They're both very intelligent. And Bell, on the other hand, Bell has felt the pressure. I mean, you look at the accomplishments he's had this year. National Midget Driver of the Year, National Midget Champion this year. I mean, he knows what this pressure is all about, and I think because of that title and what he was able to do this year, much like we heard from Kevin, I think the pressure of winning is mounting, and Bell feels it.
And, of course, the question that follows on that is, can the two of them stay on the front row? Tony Stewart getting his Ambassador of the Dirt Track World Award here. This is a real special moment. That guy on the right, if you don't know the Chili Bowl, you probably don't know the man in the blue shirt. That is Emmett Hahn. Emmett Hahn was a legendary local racer. His home track was right across the way here, a quarter mile. He won 16 out of 22 features back in the, I'm going to say it was the early 70s, won 5 straight track championships there. And he is the creator of the Chili Bowl. It was his idea to locate he obviously knew the building was here, it's in his hometown, but to take this giant building and turn it into a racetrack, and all of the things that we talked about all night long were essentially his idea. He joined hands with another promoter, Lanny Edwards, to get the sprint car stars to come here early on and battle the midget racers. And so that's who Emmett is. I guess we don't need to spend a lot of time explaining who Tony Stewart is, but the relationship between the two is really critical. Tony, as quoted earlier, says if he could only run one race every year, it would be this one. Obviously, he's not running it this year because of that badly broken right leg that he suffered in a sprint car crash that kept him out of the run for the NASCAR championship last year. And so Emmett's decision this year was to name Emmett Hahn's decision was to name Tony Stewart as the ambassador of the year in dirt track racing for all the things that he has done, not least his contribution to the Jason Leffler tribute car that ran here and raised a ton of money for Charlie Dean, the late Jason Leffler's kid, who will benefit tremendously from the generosity of dirt track fans. So to come back to the thread that I was following before with the two youngsters on the front row, Armstrong and Bell, the question back to the boys in the booth is, can these kids stay up there? I like Sammy Swindell a lot in this race, starting back there in 5th spot. Kind of quietly going about his business all week long. Had a problem in one of his qualifying races, nearly got crashed, was able to bounce back from that and earn a solid starting spot. I guess you would consider that my prediction, but do you guys think the kids can stay up on the front row?
If you look at both Caleb Armstrong and Christopher Bell, there's pretty much 3 major crown jewel midget races a year. The first of which is here at the Chili Bowl. The second is the Belleville Midget Nationals. And the third, of course, is the very historic Turkey Night Grand Prix. Caleb Armstrong, who starts on the pole, has won the very historic Turkey Night Grand Prix. And Christopher Bell last year won the very traditional, very historic now, Belleville Midget Nationals. So these two drivers have won 2 of the 3 biggest events of the season, and they're on the front row of the biggest event of the season. I think they can stay up there. You know, the nerves are there, of course. It's the Chili Bowl, but they know how to win the big races. I think they can get it done here tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, are you going to pick one?
I'm not going to pick either one of those guys, though. I just built them up as if they are going to run one, too. You know, I really liked the Kiwi Michael Pickens. On his prelim night, he was bad fast. He got a horrible draw by the standards of the top 12. He's going to start 11th, but I think I'm going to go down under and stay with Pickens.
Oh, I also have to say that I think where Dave is going with Sammy is a solid bet, no doubt about it, certainly based on the history. But if I make a pick, I'm going to go with Christopher Bell. I think the young man has been so talented and dealt with the pressure. The key is going to be working their way through traffic. Sammy is wicked good at it. We'll find out if Bell is good at it here tonight. All right, let's get it down to Dave Argerbright. What are you thinking, Dave?
Well, I'll tell you guys, right before we went on the air and they were hot lapping the B cars, Sammy Swindell wanted to go down to the infield to watch Kevin hot lap. He stood there for a minute before the officials realized he didn't have an infield pass, and they booted him and sent him back outside. He did not like that. In fact, he was just a little bit mad about it, and I've seen that guy race a lot, and let me tell you something, he races real good when he's mad.
Yeah, you know, Sammy's certainly one to watch. I mean, Kevin and Sammy, that's kind of the default pick. You know, you got the fans that want to see someone new win, and I think that's when you see Caleb Armstrong, Christopher Bell, Bryan Clauson, Jonathan Beeson, any one of those top 4 you would like to see win. What do you think, Aaron Bates?
Well, you guys, I got to say I'm with Ken. Christopher Bell is going to be my pick for this evening. He was exceptionally fast on his preliminary night. We all know that he's going to be starting in that front row, and he's one of the hottest midget racers in the country right now. I feel that the mojo is in his corner. He's young, he's hungry, and he definitely wants this.
And if Christopher Bell does win, he would be the second driver in the history of the Chili Bowl from Oklahoma to win the Chili Bowl. The last one, of course, was Andy Hillenberg driving for Keith and Rusty Coons back in '94.
Now, we know this field is stacked, don't get me wrong, but the 5 of us, none of us picked Bryan Clauson. Are you kidding me? On the inside of the second row to Spain.
And Kyle Larson doesn't get a call either. I did note, though, to bring this conversation full circle, that you kids all pick kids, and the old guy here picked the old guy. We'll know in 55 laps whether or not Sammy Swindell can live up to my high expectations, and of course whether his kid Kevin can make history from 13th starting spot. Is that right? I believe somewhere in there. He's done it from deep in the field before, but it is indeed a great deal more challenging. The drivers heading out with the pomp and circumstance of the Chili Bowl here and all the flashing lights as the cars are rolled forward. Cars built with a very, very thin rule book, and I think that may also be part of the appeal of this race. There's so much spec racing in the world. In our Sammy Swindell and Kevin Swindell interview, which we excerpted earlier, Sammy talks about the building of sprint cars and how back in the early days of the World of Outlaws, you had to know what pieces work with what pieces and where to get those pieces and the chemistry and the combination to make a great car. He says now you just go buy one at the sprint car mall. The point being that they're all pretty much the same, and sprint cars probably have as much room for innovation as any other aspect of the sport these days. So the fact that they can come here and basically build whatever they want, they can pare the car down to 800 pounds if they want to, and if they can pull that off and make it work, that's fine. The opportunity to bring some ingenuity, some engineering back to the sport, which suffers so much, I think, from spec car rule books now. And we all understand the reason for spec rules. It's to try to hold the cost down and equalize the competition. But since its very outset, one of the most important aspects of racing has been the opportunity to build a better mousetrap, and here they have the opportunity to do that. And that's one of the great mysteries about the Swindell win streak. Again, no drivers, two drivers have won more than 2 times in the entire history of the race. The Swindells, between them, have won this race 9 times. Well, what's special about those cars? There are a million theories. Point is, nobody knows. And as we heard in that little excerpt earlier, Sammy ain't telling. Not until they decide to stop coming back to the Chili Bowl. Boys, that is an impressive sight when you picture this old building, which was created for the display of oil derricks, and look at the lights, look at the crowd, and look at the assemblage of cars about ready to take a green flag. It's easy to understand why everybody from Tony Stewart on down thinks this is the coolest race going.
You know, you bring up a lot of history. We were talking about the late Chris Economaki a little bit earlier as well, and talking about the spec chassis, and stuff started back in the late 30s, early 40s with the Curtis Craft tube chassis and the Offenhauser power plants. In fact, almost called these cars the Offie 110s at one time because there was just so many of them. But what it did create was the first A main and first B main. If you had an Offenhauser and a Curtis Craft tube chassis car, you were automatically in the A main because all the other cars just could not keep up. And of course, there was so much creativity back in the day with motorcycles and outboards and home-built engines. You know, the chassis, of course, whatever the guys could build inside of the garage would show up and put on a good show. But when the players started traveling around and they bought the tube chassis, the spec tube chassis, if you will, and of course the race engine, that 110 from Offie, or even the earlier one that was 90 cubic inches, they just had a better combination. And so the sport develops and gets where it is. But it is nice to see some creativity, take away some of the rules, come back out here to the Chili Bowl, and let these guys do what they do. Because when you take a look at a Keith Coons or Corey Kruisman or the Bondio gang, and certainly the Swindells, they have a lot of tricks up their sleeves if they're allowed to do it.
There's really 3 types of cars now when you come to the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. There's the cars that guys can race at any sanctioning body from coast to coast. They don't make any changes to it because they know they're going to chase points all season. There's the cars that can pretty much go to any sanctioning body that you really tinker on, get some lightweight, put some titanium bolts on for the Chili Bowl, and then I'll put all the normal steel grade 8 bolts back in it when we go racing for points. And then there's the Chili Bowl car. Kevin Swindell, Sammy Swindell, Andy Bondio, as you see right there, Tim McCready. These are cars that race at the Chili Bowl and only at the Chili Bowl, as Bondio's other car there with Damian Gardner goes by. Then, of course, you see Sammy Swindell. So, as Dave alluded to, these guys can spend all year long massaging this car, machining weight off of it to get it ready for the Chili Bowl, where a lot of teams that chase points, whether they run in Power Eye, Western States National Series, they have to keep a car that meets those rules, as Dave alluded to.
All right, we're going to show you a little bit of history here from the Chili Bowl as well, and a nice graphic, and how many A-main starts a lot of our drivers have been a part of. And Sammy's going to lead that group there at 20. And we talked about Jerry Coons Jr. making history here tonight as he makes it 11 consecutive. Pretty impressive there. These are A-main starts, not just appearances at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, and this is prior to tonight's event. So Sammy Swindell, you can add 1. Jerry Coons, you can add 1. Dave Darling, you can add 1. I mean, that is very impressive. You're really looking at the best open-wheel dirt drivers in the country right there. I mean, between championships, big race wins, Triple Crown titles. I mean, these 5 guys are really the best of the best.
And once again, let's get it back over to Dave.
You know, that conversation about the technology and the rules and all the rest of that, and the kinds of cars that they build to come to the Chili Bowl, in some cases special cars just for the Chili Bowl. You can't. It makes you think about the money, about the cost. When I started covering midget racing, the joke was, you know, we're not very good at math. We race $50,000 cars for $1,000 to win. Hasn't improved a whole lot over the years when you think about it. This race pays $10,000 to win. That is not a huge return in a world in which we're dominated by high-dollar sports and huge stadiums and sort of spoiled athletes making millions and millions of dollars. $10,000 that's not very much money. So why would all of these drivers and all of these car owners spend all of this money to come here in the middle of the winter and race for 10 grand? Well, I think there are three reasons. I think there is, first of all, the prestige of a Chili Bowl victory. This is the race to win. There's pride. When you win here, it becomes bragging rights for the whole season, and you have that little place in history. And most importantly, I believe it is about passion. These guys are passionate about racing. It's not the money, it's the golden driller and the opportunity to massage that passion. So 3 P's: pride, prestige, passion. For my money, that's a pretty good motivation to go racing. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The last of the cars being introduced. The lights will come up, they will push them away, and we will be ready for maybe the most exciting 55 laps of the winter anywhere in American motorsports. And you can see the fans all on their feet. They know what's coming. Here we go. We are getting ready to fire them up. Boys?
And thanks a lot, Dave. Great job. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, that is what the difference is. The people out here that compete, the ones that want to be in the fight, they live for the fight. They just want to compete and race against the best, and they will scrap up the money anywhere they can to get inside of that fight. Hey, he also mentioned something, Rob. Let's touch on this real quickly while we have the time. This race used to be 50 laps. It was 50 laps for a long, long time, and now it's 55 laps, and that's in memory of our good friend a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Donnie Ray Crawford passing away, a local driver here, and another huge fan favorite at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl, passing away a few years ago, and they immediately went to a 55 lapper because that was the number that he ran, and I know it was a very hard year for the Crawford family. And any time that the Chili Bowl comes around, it's near and dear to their heart. And of course, our hearts are out to the Crawford family once again, as it is every year here during the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl.
Yeah, and it was a special moment as we take a look at Tim McCready there getting the safety harnesses all strapped up and snugged up in there. Special moment for Jonathan Beeson, almost 2 years to the day. We're very, very close friends. You know, again, a local boy here, and is able to win on that prelim night, make it right into the A-main here tonight. It was a special moment, and it brought back some pretty powerful memories.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that was a huge win, the biggest win of Jonathan Beeson's career, and an awesome job. And he's going to be one to watch. He's got a great starting spot. He drew outside of row 2. You see Bryan Clauson there, the Bullet, making his 5th A-main start here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl, and his head wrench right behind him, Rusty Coons, and cars getting ready, helmets are getting on, and crews are telling them, all right, crews, get off the racetrack because it's about time to go racing.
All right, I know we've been teasing you with it, but this one is absolutely for real. When we come back, we're going to turn them loose in the A-main. It's coming up. Stay with us. We're going to go racing here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. Them up and go racing here in the A-main. This is the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals presented by General Tire. The 28th running of the mighty Midgets here at the Tulsa, Oklahoma Expo Raceway.
You can see the stands are packed. This place sold out all week. If you want to get a ticket, I'd say try tomorrow morning to get your ticket for 2015. Because even if you're not a race fan, you just kind of come across the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl here on MAVTV live from Tulsa, you want to buy a ticket and come next year. I mean, this is without a doubt the craziest week, the best racing that you will see all season long. And you get to watch that man right there go for number 6 here tonight. So, slamming Sammy Swindell, a nickname synonymous with the driver, multi-time wing sprint car champion, Knoxville Nationals winner, and it's always fun to see him here when he comes to Tulsa.
Yeah, he has the reputation, no doubt about it. And we talked about these fans being knowledgeable. You will hear them cheer. You will hear them boo. None of them will be sitting down. It's a standing-only event, and they love every second of it.
Kevin Ramey there in the 7M, making, I believe, his first career A-main Saturday night. Yep, first time in the A-main at the Chili Bowl for Kevin Ramey. Wing sprint car ace, and of course your pole sitter Caleb Armstrong out of Newcastle, Indiana, in that 7C car. CNA Motorsports Beast chassis with Fontana power. Of course, the Armstrong family here once again. He is the cousin of Dakota Armstrong and Dalton Armstrong. There's Bryan Clauson, the Bullet.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a guy that could easily come up as standing on top of the podium here tonight. So much talent in those eyes right there, and we're pushing off one of the cars, the first one to light off. It's going to be that 24 car, and no doubt the fans staying on their feet, getting excited here. Tracy Hines, and here we go. Let's show you our starting grid. The 7C, Caleb Armstrong, of course the 08 Kenyan Midget champ, will take them to the stripe when they throw the green flag, alongside Christopher Bell, National Midget Driver of the Year.
Inside of row number 2, known as the Bullet, from Noblesville, Indiana, driving car number 63, multi-time midget and sprint car champion, career best 4th in 2008. He'll start 3rd here. That is Bryan Clauson. To his outside, preliminary night winner to kick off the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl for Hard 8 Racing in the 8J, Jonathan Beeson.
On the inside of the 3rd row in the 5D, it's Zach Dahm. He brought Toyota the first ever national championship this year, the 2013 Power Eye champ. And then alongside, outside row number 3, the number 1, 5-time champion here at the Chili Bowl. 40 years of racing, 600+ wins, Sammy Swindell.
We move back to the inside of row number 4, the 2008 Chili Bowl winner, making his 6th start in the A-main here Saturday night for Andy Bondio. Car number 47, we call him the Demon. That is Damian Gardner. To his outside, his teammate, the 06 Chili Bowl winner, making his 5th career start in the A-main here Saturday night, the 47X Dirt Late Model ace, T-Mac, Tim McCready.
Let's go to the inside of row number 5. It's the 3 car driven by Chris Wenham, a 2011 Little 500 winner, and then the People's Champion in the 17R. 14th time he will go out here and try to pick up a win. He's yet to do so, but he is hot off of a tough 2013 when he picked up a win at the Turkey Night Grand Prix. The only second person to do it on asphalt and dirt.
On the inside of row number 6, from Auckland, New Zealand, fresh off the 50-lapper win down there in Western Springs. His 5th career A-main start in his 6th try. That is the Kiwi, Michael Pickens. To his outside, Pennsylvania driver, 8th in 2013 ARDC midget points. He's won on multiple continents. First time in the A-main, that is a 77 of Alec Bright.
All right, on the inside of row 7, and coming out of the B-main, it's a 67K of Rico Abreu. We'll find out if he can find the magic here tonight alongside the 39 car. That is Kevin Swindell. He's got a lot of work to do to get up through this pack, but plenty of time to do so.
Young Money, Kyle Larson will start to the inside of row number 8, his 4th career start in the A-main, best finish 3rd in 2012, and to his outside, also making his 4th appearance in the A-main at the Chili Bowl, the 56L of Danny Stratton.
All right, let's go to the inside of row number 9. Another tough competitor here, the 21 car, Darren Pittman will try to work his way through the field in the 15X, 2nd generation racer of Chad Boat on the outside.
Back inside row number 10, starting in the 19th Sparting start, the 17K car. That is Alex Shuddy, making his 1st career start in the A-main here at the Chili Bowl. And to the outside from Sunset Hills, Missouri, former Race of Champions winner, multi-time midget champ, Brad Loyette in the 05.
All right, let's go back to the inside of row number 11. The number 5 car of Jerry Coons Jr. making history here tonight with his 11th consecutive A-main start. He'll be alongside one of the best as well, the number 24, the 2005 winner here at the Chili Bowl, Tracy Hines.
12th and final row on the inside, originally from San Jose, California, now lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. That is the 16 of Thomas Meserol. And rounding out your field, making his 1st career start Saturday night here in the A-main at the Chili Bowl, the 7M of Kevin Ramey.
A huge field of absolutely the best when it comes to open wheel racing. Stand on that throttle a little bit, warm these things up, get the drivers ready to go.
Yeah, they'll spread them out here a little bit after that track maintenance. They put some water down. You heard Dave Argerbright talk about it. So they're going to give these guys a few hot laps to let them know what the track's going to be like when they go bonsai down into turn number 1. Now, we talk about these race cars, the 4-cylinder engines, the 400 horsepower, the coilover front shocks, the torsion bar, rear suspension. I would say pretty much every single car out there has onboard adjustments, shock adjustments. You can adjust compression, you can adjust rebound. Some of them you can just jack weight into the corner of the car that you want. So you can't really do it during green flag condition, but if you get a caution, or right now, depending on how your car, like the way the track is, you can make those adjustments.
I also want to make a quick correction of what I said just a few moments ago about Dave Darland, the People's Champion, being the second person to win the Turkey Night Grand Prix on asphalt and dirt. He's actually the third. Mel Kenyon and Stan Fox, the other two able to do that, but nonetheless, very good company and a very rare feat. All right, pairing them up side by side. We are not far away from the start of the 28th running of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl.
And there's a good look at Kevin Swindell lining up behind Alex Bright alongside the 67K of Rico Abreu. Can he do it? Can he win 5 in a row? Well, in 55 laps or so, we're going to find out.
They've certainly had the magic in the past few years. Boy, just a beautiful sound hearing these things idle around here. They've got to try to keep them cleaned out so that they don't drop a cylinder and they're ready to go at the hit. Sometimes these things will bobble, and when they do that, it creates a domino effect. Here we go, standing on the throttle early. We are on. The 28th running of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl is on. Armstrong stabs the throttle, does a good job of taking over the early lead. Clauson right behind him. Clauson trying to lean on him just a little bit. The 97 of L falls back into third.
Yeah, great job right now for Caleb Armstrong, trying to hold off Bryan Clauson, who has a tremendous amount of bite coming off that low part of the racetrack off turn 4. You can see these cars hopping around. This track is going to dry out through the course of this 55 lap where these cars will come to them. You want a little bit tight to start. If you can get it to turn, then you'll be good at the end of the race.
That's absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. And he is hooked up, no doubt about it. When this thing starts to slick off, and that's where the Swindells have been really good. That's where Keith Koontz thinks his cars are going to shine. He said, we've been chasing it for 3 years. That dry slick is where we need to be good. That won't happen for a number of laps. And right now, Clauson really leaning on Armstrong.
Doesn't look like Caleb tight, and Bryan Clauson lead, and he'll work it through turns 3 and 4 and already pulling away.
And you know, this isn't uncommon. We've seen Kevin Swindell fall back some 3, 4, 5 places at the start of one of these races, and then the car starts to come to him. Let's show you the pass for the lead here one more time as Clauson's starting to drive away.
Yeah, you know, it looked like Caleb Armstrong in the 7C just couldn't get that thing to the low part of the racetrack and keep it there. Right here, he kind of hits a rut and it pushes up a little bit. Front end comes up, and Clauson was there to capitalize and take the lead. And again, now Caleb Armstrong doing wheelies down the back straightaway as Christopher Bell right behind him still runs in that 3rd position. Behind them, about 4 or 5 car lengths, is preliminary night winner for Hard 8 Racing, Jonathan Beeson.
When you can see all these guys carrying the front end, all the bite they have inside of these things, and they just try to hang on here. The first few laps, I mean, this is again why they're so talented. They can drive cars that a lot of other people can't drive, and they can drive them fast. They can hang on through these first few tough laps until this track starts to come to them a little bit. Look at that beautiful wheel stand all the way down there. There's a look at the 39 of Kevin and Swindell trying to pick up and work his way up through this pack.
Yeah, Kevin Swindell started 14th, I believe, running 14th right now. So, you know, this is the kind of track that is really equals everybody out. When it starts to slick off, that's when those Swindell Motorsports cars come alive. And it looks like, speaking of coming alive, got a little fire brewing there for Thomas Meserol.
Timez is climbing out. Looks like he's going to call it a night here. And this is what Dave Argerbright was talking about before. This will help out some of those guys in the back. This will give Kevin a chance to close that gap back up. They're single file now and get after him.
Let's go back and take a look at what happened there for Thomas Meserol. Entering turn 3.
Oh, man, he grenaded that one. It's done.
And you can see him there with the fuel being burned out of the headers there. And, of course, here is Bryan Clauson working the lap traffic, getting underneath Chad Boat, and then Meserol up in flames comes to a stop. And it's amazing how quick these guys will get out of these race cars with the safety harness, the Hans device, everything that they wear. Obviously, when there's a fire on board, and he got out safely, so good news there.
Yeah, and you mentioned it before. I mean, the safety crew here at the Chili Bowl, second to none. They have guys all around this track, and they are out there and ready to help instantly. We're going to take a short break here and let them clean this car up and make sure everything's okay, get it moved out of the way. When we come back, we will get things started once again. There's a look at your LMC truck top 5. Bryan Clauson leading the group. Interesting stuff for sure, and none of us picked him. All right, once again, we are back here. Just begun the A main. 12 laps already completed here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals presented by General Tire. Early leader, the number 63, Bryan Clauson. And talk about a resume this guy has. Over 100 career wins. He's run Indy Lights, qualified for the Indianapolis 500. More importantly, National Midget Rookie of the Year, Driver of the Year on 2 occasions, National Midget Championship 2 occasions. I mean, this guy has a resume. He can get it done.
Yeah, and he just coming off a big win down under Western Springs Speedway. He won the King of the Springs 40 lapper. As you see there, Sammy Swindell, he will restart in 5th. Right behind him, former preliminary night winner Zach Dahm out of Pocahontas, Illinois. But lights have been turned out. The Bullet, Bryan Clauson in command once again.
In years gone by, be patient. I will tell all the fans, be patient. In years gone by, these cars start to come in about midway through the race.
See Zach Dahm, the first to try. Oh, big trouble down in turn 1.
Rollover. That was a huge flip.
And I think that is the 47 of Damian Gardner.
Wow, really sketchy ride right off the bat. For the world's fastest sprint car driver, he's been 194 miles an hour inside of a sprint car out of Concord, California, as you can see there. And yeah, that was a pretty vicious ride right there.
You can see a lot of damage to that car, the Andy Bondio car that he builds in-house. Brings him back to the Chili Bowl. You can see Damian moving around there. He got his gloves off. Let's go back and take another look at it. Damian, the top of your screen, now the left of your screen. Now the bottom of your screen, and there he goes.
Definitely putting the fence to the test there.
Yeah, just got up on the bike.
Side,
yeah,
man.
Just biked it going in there. And like we said, you know, you hook these cars up because you want to make your car good for the 55 laps, and maybe just a little bit too tight, or he tossed it in just a little bit too much and hooked a little rut there and went up and over. That's sure a shame for Damian Gardner. Had a good race car here on his preliminary night, and of course a good car here tonight. Now his teammate Tim McCready will have to try and get his Bondio car to the front. Damian, meanwhile, finished second in his prelim night here. So Bryan Clauson there in command as we're still under caution here. Still 12 laps completed, 55 the magic number here tonight.
Once again, we'd love to see it out at East Bay Raceway, but if not, you can watch all the action right here on MAVTV. We're going to bring it to you live. That is February 13th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time from East Bay Raceway. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series East Bay Winter Nationals. A pile of cars there as well. Not uncommon to see 70, 80, 90 cars come out there and try to qualify for the show. Great stuff. And watch all the action right here, live on MAV.
And the number 47 for Damian Gardner on the hook. You can see the right front radius rods still hanging on the car, but ripped off, and a lot of front end damage there to the car, possibly some chassis damage as well as he got into the fence there a little bit. So good to see him moving around inside the race car. He's probably going to be okay, but Andy's going to have a little bit of work to do to get that thing ready for the Chili Bowl next year, which is the next time he'll probably race that car.
It won't take those guys long, man. They turn those things around pretty quickly, really good at what they do. We're just glad he's okay. And, you know, the safety development inside of these cars has come a long, long ways. I think we're going to send them around here one more time. Get everybody lined back up, make sure they're in the proper order. Another thing you'll see is that cone right there. It's attached to the string because they'll pull it off out of the way to get the flagman out of the way. But whenever they come back around here through turns 3 and 4, when they restart the race, you have to clear the cone.
Yeah, if you hit the cone or go underneath the cone, at the next caution flag, they're going to put you back a few spots. So you definitely don't want to do that. As Bryan Clauson, the bullet, brings him off. We're back underway. Top 5 cars there can work in the low part of the racetrack. Look like Zach Dahm, the only one to go to the outside part of the racetrack. He's trying to bring in that second group because I don't think he just wants to follow Sammy Swindell all the way around the Chili Bowl. He wants to win this thing.
Yeah, we've seen it many times that Sammy will go to the top and try to blow the top off it. Yeah, these guys are really hopping up and down. Sammy carrying that left front tire, just putting it up on the berm, and Sammy up to the top for just a moment, says, no, I'm taking it right back down to the bottom.
Yeah, if you want to have a good fast car here through the corners when it gets slick, you have to run a very soft suspension. And when it's tacky like this, the ruts will develop. These things will start bouncing around. I think that's what happened to Damian Gardner, but Sammy Swindell using that high line there on Jonathan Beeson, trying to get around him. Beeson there in that 8. Trying to chase down Caleb Armstrong, and there's that 71 of Kyle Larson battling with his teammate, the 67K of Rico Abreu.
It looked like Dom might have lost a spot right there. Over 300 feature winners for him. We talked about him winning that Power I championship in 2013. Another player there as he goes back up to the top to try and find a little something.
Yeah, and Kyle Larson made him pay. He said, yeah, go up top if you want. I'm going to drive right on by. You see Kevin Swindell there in the top left of your screen, slowly working his way up. He has now taken over the 9th position. So we could see a Kyle Larson, Kevin Swindell battle, at least both of them trying to get to the front right now, really working that outside groove.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Kyle is coming. In a week, he'll be inside of a DP car listening to Timmy Keene run around Daytona. Right now, though, he's all about winning this race. He came close a year ago, and no doubt he has not forgotten that. And he's working his way up to the front. He's right behind Sammy. Keep in mind, he came out of a B-main.
Yeah, and it's getting a little slick there in the middle to the bottom of turns 3 and 4. We can see a little slick spot there right now, entering on the bottom of turns 1 and 2, also exiting turns 1 and 2 on the low line. So really right now it looks like where Kyle Larson, Caleb Armstrong in front of him are running up on top. That's the fastest place to be. If you can get a good run, get that momentum, you pull that big slide job.
Beeson really doing a nice job, man. He's hanging tough right there on the bottom. Again, that number 8 car, local boy, see if we can get it done. Yeah, outside in, man, making it happen.
Beeson right now running in 3rd. Caleb Armstrong there in the 7th, 4th, then Sammy, then Kyle Larson, Dave Darland, the people's champ, back there in the 17 car.
That's what the fans love. The outside, inside, inside, outside, 3 wide. Oh, man. And Sammy trying to keep this thing going. He's going to go back out there onto the track. Never stops. Right back out in front of the leaders.
I honestly don't know if I've ever seen that happen at the Chili Bowl, and I don't know how they're going to score that. But nonetheless, Sammy decides to cut the track and comes back out onto the racetrack.
I mean, he's basically a full lap down. I mean, that's a given. He's got to get back around here, but if they bring out a caution flag, he'll be able to close it back up.
Yeah, this shows him 1 lap down. Let's take another look at it here. So that's Kyle Larson down low. Sammy Swindell drives in, runs out of racing room, gets a little sideways. Larson runs out of room. Swindell gets run over, just kind of one of those things, and then he decides, you know what, I think I'm going to go through the middle and get back to racing.
Well, I mean, it looked like he was going to have room there, and it looked like Caleb checked up a little bit, and that closed the gap up quickly when Sammy came through pretty much in the same spot.
So there's Bryan Clauson, your leader, and right behind him, Christopher Bell running the, and now trouble for Kyle Larson.
Kyle just blew up a motor, it looks like, and this is the break that Sammy needed. It needed to happen early. He'll be able to go all the way around and pick up the tail end of the field, but that is a heartbreaker there for somebody who had the possibility of winning. And speaking of heartbreakers, it looks like Jerry Coons Jr. also in trouble here.
Yeah, you could see the official there, I believe, signaling to Coons that could be a problem with the engine as he stopped on the racetrack. And you know, Jerry Coons Jr. is another huge fan favorite anytime he comes to the Chili Bowl. As you mentioned, Triple Crown champion from Tucson, Arizona, in that number 5 AutoNet Mobile Wilkie Pack car, and they will push him more than likely. Well, he'll turn around and try and lock it into gear, looks like maybe.
Maybe the thing's still able to run. That would be great if we can fire him back up and give him another crack at it, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Yeah, 1 of 5 to win that Triple Crown you were talking about, of course.
He's finished 4th on 2 separate occasions here in the A-Main at the Chili Bowl. His best career finish, 4th on 2 times. So You know, sometimes these things will pop out of gear. We talked about there's no transmission, no clutch. You lock that thing in gear. Sometimes that'll just pop out of gear. You have to stop on the racetrack. Unfortunately, he'll probably have to go to the tail of the field, but he's still in the race, and it looks like everything's okay there.
He's had some success here. As you take a look at our leader, Bryan Clauson.
And how about Christopher Bell there? As Clauson was working the lap traffic, it looked like Bell might have had something, or still may have something, for Bryan Clauson, and no lap traffic now, clear track ahead. So it's going to be interesting to see if Christopher Bell can get by Bryan Clauson. Looking back at the Keith Kunz Motorsports pits, it looks like Kyle Larson has made his way back there. Tough break. The last 2 years now for Kyle Larson here at the Chili Bowl, and last year spinning out, trying to pass for the lead, and this year blowing up.
Well, and this is all part of the story, right? They had that other engine in there. They had the electronic fuel injected power plant in there, and there's no doubt it's a great power plant. And Keith admitted that. He said, but there's a couple of small things that need to be worked out. I wanted to play it safe. We pulled that one out, put the mechanical injected power plant in, and hindsight's 20/20, of course, but he has to be thinking to himself, are you kidding me? I thought I made the safe move to give us our best chance at a win here, and unfortunately, when it's not in the stars, just not in the stars.
So Bryan Clauson there in the lead, Christopher Bell behind him, and you see that 05, that is Brad Loyette. He is one lap down, right now scored in 21st, so the top two have a lapper cushion, as it looks like Kyle Larson is making his way over to Dave Despain there on the stage, and doesn't look too happy that he is out of this 55 lapper.
Yeah, they're basically pitted right there behind Dave, where that stage is, and Nikki over there doing a great job. One of our producers has been with us for a long time, so she was able to get over there and get him, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from him in a little bit.
Sammy Swindell right there behind Brad Loyette is a lap down, so third in line, or third on the racetrack, I should say, is not your third place. It is actually fifth on the racetrack. That is the 8 car of Jonathan Beeson. So top two now have a couple car cushion if they want to try and pull away and take on that golden driller, but a lot of racing left to go.
And by the way, I do agree with that rule, because the top two also had the passage, so you're gonna get around them. Everybody's got to get around them, right? Sammy being scored 1 lap down.
And again, there's Brad Loyette in the 05. Beeson there in that purple and green Part 8 Racing number 8. Here's the battle again for the lead. Bryan Clauson and Christopher Bell, two of the hottest drivers coming into this year's Chili Bowl.
Bryan Clauson, as we talked about, so documented. I mean, he's just done so much, but to watch Christopher Bell come up through here has really been a lot of fun. As we go to the 56 car and take a look there, let's get it down to Dave Despain. He is with Kyle.
Level of disappointment. I know this one meant a lot to you.
Yeah, I did. You know, it hurts. We just lost an engine there, but we were definitely really fast. Just started a little too far back there. Need to catch some cautions about right now to have a shot at winning. And you know, Sammy got collected in somebody's spin, and I hit him and bent the Jacob's ladder and handled a little bit funny there right before it blew up. So just didn't catch the right brakes there, but all we can do now is just root on my teammate Chris Bell and Rico Abreu, and try and get a golden driller over the Keith Kunz pit.
So who did you? I mean, I don't know how far ahead you're looking, but the guys up front, are you able to pick somebody that you think is? I mean, can anybody do anything?
I hope Chris can. I couldn't see those two up front, but I was right in the thick of things. I think for about 3rd to 5th there.
Which was a heck of a race, by the way.
Yeah, it was, and I just needed to catch some brakes and didn't there. It's just a shame that last 2 years end up in the pit area before the race is over, but we'll come back again next year and try to get another one.
Bell seems remarkably poised at his age, coming here with all those guys lined up behind him. Is he going to be the next Kyle Larson?
I've been telling people that all year long, that he's better than I am. He's really good. He's extremely smooth and smart, and I think he's definitely the one to watch out for in NASCAR land coming up.
You told me the other day that you think there are 15 guys out there as good as you who just don't get the opportunity, don't get the break. People look at you and go, how can that possibly be? Is he ranked #1 on that list?
Yeah, definitely. And Rico Abreu, he's another one that's up there in the top 3 for sure.
We're going green. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks.
Sorry to see you out.
All right. Clauson brings them back around. The green flag flies. Ladies and gentlemen, the 39 car has worked his way into the top 5 from 14.
Yeah, Kevin Swindell right now runs in that 4th spot. Behind him, Dave Darlin started 10th, runs 5th. So a handful of movers and shakers. And Kevin Swindell passed a lot of cars on his prelim night as Beeson jumps over the cushion. Swindell takes the spot, and it looks like Darlin's going to slide job him as well.
Keep in mind.
Bounce off the cushion, though. Hold on.
Keep in mind, Sammy Swindell, the #1 car up there in the top 3, is a lap down. So they're all working around there. He knows he's a lap down. He is a cagey veteran. Does he give his kid a hall pass right here? Not yet.
Well, Sammy knows that if he does pass the top 2 and get in front of him and catch a yellow, guess what? He's back on the lead lap. I mean, stranger things have happened, but he is a lap down right now as his son Kevin drives right on by him. So no lap traffic for the top 3 as they work through turns 3 and 4.
It's easy to see that Kevin was brought up with tough love when it comes to racing. If you want the spot, you better go take the spot. I'm not giving it to you. Sammy driving hard, carrying the front end again, but as we mentioned, a lap down. Kevin is coming up through here. Kevin is looking for 5 consecutive wins in a race where we did not have a back-to-back winner for nearly its entire history.
Looks like he got by there for a second. Got jacked up there on the top part of the racetrack, and Bill gets back underneath him, so they'll go at it again. This is the battle for the 2nd spot. For you Bryan Clauson fans, he is still out front, about a 10-car length advantage right now, and it looks like the caution will come out, and it is for the 7C, your pole sitter, Caleb Armstrong. Was running in the 8th spot, so he had fallen back, and unfortunately now, if he can restart, Ken will have to go the tail.
I'm taking a look at that right tire. It still looks pretty decent. I've got to say, a little bit of tread left on it. We've seen these guys run them down by midway, so everybody's getting a little better handle on this as they learn. We're going to show you this one more time, see if we can find out what happened to Caleb. Just through a hole and carries the front end and gets into Dom right there.
Yeah, just got into the side of Zach Dom, ran out of real estate there and got turned around and comes to a stop on the racetrack. You can see that cushion is fairly monstrous over there exiting turn #2. And now he stops on the racetrack and probably wants the crew to look at the car a little bit, make sure he is okay to continue. I think they're going to back it down. So they'll leave it in gear, back it up, and that will get all the excess fuel out of the cylinders.
Yeah, they try to clear them out a little bit so when you push them off. You have some fluid on top of that piston. You cannot compress liquid. It's not going to happen. You'll bend a rod, your day's done. So they try to get them cleared out.
See Keith Coons back there giving hand signals to his drivers, Christopher Bell and Rico Abreu, as Caleb Armstrong rather gets pushed off. So he'll have to tag the tail of the field.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin Swindell is coming, but it will not be easy to get past these top 2 guys, nor is it ever. And guess what? He didn't complete a lap. Oh, yes, he did. My apologies. I thought they'd put Sammy back in front of him. Like, of all the people, you don't have to pass that again. So,
well, we've seen Kevin Swindell and Bryan Clauson in the past go at it. First, he's got to get by Christopher Bell. He's going to go to the outside part of the racetrack, try and get a run as they race down in turn #1.
Sticks a nose in on Bell. Right up beside him. Bell, no doubt, knows he's there now. Back to the top they go.
And Sammy running the low part of the racetrack, and he's probably going to let these leaders race.
Well, you can see right there that Kevin was not afraid to go right through the dry slick. That's how much confidence he has in that car.
And it seems like right now, I mean, it's slick on the bottom, through the middle, little moisture right there entering turn #1, but I think this thing is going to be one on the top at this point. Both the top 2 cars, and then Kevin Swindell really just trying to do all he can to try and run down Christopher Bell. He'll take a look down low, and then he'll slide up to that cushion and not really gain any spots, but guess what? There is the other Kevin Motorsports car, Rico Abreu, reeling in. We got a 4-car battle.
Abreu doesn't care anything about that 5 consecutive. Yeah, he's worked his way right back up there, and I don't see him actually closing the gap, and this is typically when the Swindells have been able to come on. But this is exactly what Keith Coons was talking about, you know, and having those cars good when this track starts to blow off. Of course, you take a look at the 63 car. Bryan Clauson obviously has a really good car as well. Dual-in marketing, the spike chassis, that slinger power underneath the hood of that one.
A little bit deeper in the field, this is Zach Dom in the 5D and Jonathan Beeson in the 8, putting a nice move as the Caution is out on the racetrack. Chad Boat stopped, and we have one on his side.
Tire ripped off the wheel as well. Looks like Chad Boat might not have had any place to go.
And
the 63 car.
Yeah, that is Michael Pickens.
On his lid.
My pick, the Kiwi. Unfortunately, there on his side will get turned over. We also see Alex Shuddy there in the 17K stopped on the racetrack.
Looks like the left front tire might be down as well. Check in, make sure he's okay. Pulling gloves off.
I'm guessing that Shuddy stopped just to avoid contact with Michael Pickens. Unfortunately, when you stop on the track, you have to go to the tail. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like the left front, the left rear, both down on the 63 of Michael Pickens. Out of the dueling marketing team. Teammate to your leader, Bryan Clauson. There, of course, is Chad Boat, the John Lawson-owned 15X. Lawson owning the car that Billy Boat drove to the Chili Bowl win, I believe, in 1997. Now his son Chad driving for John. Here's another look at it.
Ooh. Oh, man. Well, he got up there and up over the cushion and tagged the wall, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty treacherous up there.
You get bit. There we go one more time. Yeah, you got
really
bit by the cushion there.
Yeah. Well, that's the scary part right there. Obviously, Chad nowhere to go. He had no choice but to come in and hit you whenever you're exposed like that, top of the car facing into traffic. And, you know, we constantly talk about the cushion, and that's what you need to get the bite. A little bit of damage to that one, of course, but the cushion obviously pushes up higher and higher and higher all night long and gets closer and closer to the wall. And these guys make it look really easy to
that cushion. But let me tell you something. It is anything but to hit that cushion perfectly every single time.
Yeah, you hit it a little bit too straight, it'll wash the front end. You can jump over it and get on the bike and get upside down. And it looks like if it's just the left front and the left rear to get changed and get Pickens back out, that's what these guys are going to do. And you can see he's still on the hook trying to get the
Nerf bar.
Yeah, we saw that earlier. Getting, I think, with Chris Wyndham, that Nerf bar gets pushed back and can cut that left rear in a hurry. So
they're calling it done. They see something and it's over.
That's a tough break for Michael Pickens, as we mentioned, a multi-time New Zealand midget champion. Just won the big 50-lapper at Western Springs Speedway in Auckland, New Zealand. A great racetrack. I'll say hi to all the New Zealand fans here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl. But how about Bryan Clauson, as Dave Despain alluded to? I think it was you that alluded to.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking down in there. I'm like, yeah, man,
shows
I don't
what
know. Maybe I should have picked Clauson, you know? I mean, how do you not when you look at his credentials? But, man, you can say that about any number of drivers inside of this field.
And how about Alex Bright? The 77 car will restart in 5th. Started back outside row 6 in the 12th spot, as it looks like they made repairs to Chad Boat if he needed any, and they're going to fire him back off. The B&B Lawson Rock and Oil 15X car won the Friday night prelim feature event last year here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl, and will go NASCAR nationwide racing in 2014. He told me we're going to run about 15 nationwide events. He's been run K&N Pro Series and ARCA. He's scheduled to start April 4th at Texas Motor Speedway.
Very cool. We wish him the best of luck. A veteran of the ARDC series, which has been around since 1939.
Yeah, Alex Bright, I mean, he's another kid to watch. He's started deep. He's racing his way up there in that green chassis and getting bottled up there on turn 4.
Stack him up a bit. Everybody will run around that bottom early on until you get the momentum up, and then you've got to go to the top. Tim McCready there with the 47 car. Looks like he's struggling. He's really not gone forward too much here tonight. Nice little jump there at the exit of that turn.
Yeah, and it looks like Kevin Swindell and Rico Abreu going at it. Abreu with a very good race car gets underneath Kevin Swindell, put the slider on him, and Abreu now takes over 3rd.
And when was the last time you've seen Kevin Swindell get past this late in the race? And Abreu, unfortunately, makes a mistake. Kevin gets it right back, and here comes the 77 car of Bright right behind him. You're just talking about him.
Yeah, Alex Bright having a fantastic run in that number 77. First time in the A-Main on Saturday night here at the Chili Bowl in his 3rd career appearance. And Abreu again back behind Kevin Swindell as the 39 gets back by that 67K. Meanwhile, up front, Bryan Clauson and Christopher Bell still run 1-2.
Clauson, it's his 10th year here. His 5th main event start. Will this have the magic? We're not going to know for a little bit. Caution flag out once again.
And it's Rico Abreu. Spins out over there in turn 4. Was running 4th. Wow. Another driver that we talked about, very impressive 2013 season. Kid can win in midgets and wing sprint cars. And yeah, he just did a 360 there and went for the 720 and couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. You see these guys do this and you say, why? But they try to keep them rolling. They do not want to stop. They know they're going to the back of the pack. So even to give up 5 or 6 spots, keep it going is okay. But if you come to a complete stop, you're going to the tail.
And it looks like Caleb Armstrong once again there in the hot pits. See Kevin Biesecker and the rest of the crew down there working on it. Armstrong, a prelim winner earlier this week. How about Alex Bright again? Now he'll restart in 4th rather, right behind Kevin Swindell. As we're back to green, doesn't look like Caleb Armstrong's going to make it back out.
It is on. The 39 car went up high. We are getting down to the closing laps. About 7 laps left. Slide job on the 30 from the 39 car, but the 67, I'm sorry, the 97 of Bell will have none of it. He goes right back after him.
And caution comes out again. Jerry Coons Jr. upside down. Right here on the front straightaway, and you could see a big dirt clod there, so he must have dug in and got upside down. The right side of the car still looks okay. Of course, Coons back with the Wilkie Pack Motorsports team after a few years driving some other race cars, and has won a lot of races for that team in that number 5 car, and especially up at the Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin for Ralph Wilkie. And it looks like Jerry Coons is done. He's asking the officials, what's the deal? Can I refire?
See if it's all right. And these cars are pretty durable. I mean, there's some delicate parts on the front end, but a lot of times we're just going back racing. They throw the green flag again. About 7 laps left here in this 55-lap main event. The 28th running of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl, and they get hooked up.
Kevin Swindell put the slider on Chris Bell. Sammy gets by again. He's a lap down. Kevin gets back underway. He runs 2nd. Chris Bell to 3rd. Alex Price still 4th.
Does Sammy check up Chris Bell at all? Is Sammy checking up Chris Bell a little bit? That's what some people are going to say.
And here comes Tim McCready on the low line, and that Andy Bondio car in the 47 right there. McCready making a run at it. Chris Bell's going to slide in front of Sammy, who bounces off the cushion. Alex Bright, Tim McCready in the 47. Of course, Dave Darlin up there as well in the 17 as they go for the 5th spot. McCready right now runs 5th.
Once again, if you just joined us, Sammy Swindell, the number 1 car, is a lap down, but he is definitely a factor in how this race is going to end up. Here comes the 77 as well. 3 laps left to go.
2 laps at the stripe as Bright puts a slider on Sammy and gets by him. McCready now right behind him. It's still Clauson, Kevin Swindell, Christopher Bell, 1, 2, 3. Pittman bouncing off the cushion. White flag is out for Bryan Clauson.
Bryan Clauson's been digging hard, but he's never stood on top of the box. He's been here 10 times now, and he's going to find the magic. In the 5th main event start, Bryan Clauson wins the 28th run-in of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. What a battle. Congratulations.
A dominating performance for Bryan Clauson, as it looks like possibly Kevin Ramey there on his side, but how about Bryan Clauson? Curb records on the side. Joe Dooling got hooked up with Dooling for the 2014 season, and he is now a Lucas Oil Chili Bowl champion. One of the races he hasn't won, and now he can consider himself a winner at the Chili Bowl and take home that golden driller. Saluting the fans.
The streak will stop at 4 consecutive for Kevin Swindell, 5 in a row for the Swindell family, and we thank them for the excitement and what they brought to this race, this event. but it's certainly great to see someone like Bryan Clauson come out here and stand on top of the box.
You saw Rusty Coons high-five the car there, and Coons, of course, a former winner of the Chili Bowl. Keith Coons' brother, as Bryan Clauson pulls into victory lane. Wow, what a great win. You see Rusty Coons over there. He's not high-fiving his driver. He's over there checking stagger, making sure everything is where he wants it to be.
That's a great look, and you can see the emotion. I mean, that is a young man that has won everything you could win, and look at the emotion out of him when you win this one. He's been in excess of 240 miles an hour at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but I promise you, this is some excitement for him.
He's won at Belleville, he's won Turkey Night, and now he takes home his first career Golden Driller.
Great stuff for sure. We're not finished. We've got to talk to the winner now, and that's coming up just around the corner. Stay with us here at the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals.
The Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, presented by General Tire, is brought to you by General Tire, anywhere is possible. E3 spark plugs, born to burn. And by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world.
It never ceases to amaze the excitement that comes out of this race each and every year. The Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals, presented by General Tire, the 28th running here at Tulsa Expo Raceway, and we have a winner, a first-time winner at that. And Dave Argerbright, you're standing next to him.
Well, I'm not going to tell you the first word that he said when he got out of the car, because you can't say that on television. But, man, you won the Chili Bowl. All these years of trying. Tell me about how that feels in your gut right now.
It's unbelievable. You know, it's hard to... I can't even put it into words right now. This is unbelievable. I can't thank Joe Dooling, Rusty Coons, everybody that works on this, Curb Records, Weston Package Meats, Fairbury, Spike Esslinger. Man, I felt like I got to the lead too early. Those last 45 laps felt like they took ages. But man, this thing's was on a rail from the time we unloaded it on Monday, and I wish I had a better interview for you right now, but this is just unbelievable. I'm just trying to keep myself composed.
You know, you couldn't see. You don't have a mirror in that thing, but behind you there's all kind of drama, slide jobs and the whole deal. But where you were was right where you wanted to be. There's no drama out front like that, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right. We were just you know, we got a good start there early on and got out front, and every now and then I could peek back and see them guys going at it and look up on the Jumbotron, and it seemed like the longer the run, the more they'd come back to me. Those short runs kind of played into my hand, and probably because they got racing each other. And I've never been so happy to see a white flag in my life. I glanced up at the board, saw all I needed to do was put a couple corners together, and man, you can never rest when you see those Swindells climbing up the board. I think Kevin got to third there, probably 15, 20 to go, and I figured we were gonna have to go to war with them, but sounds like Christopher kind of held them up a little bit there, and this is unbelievable, man. This is. They can never take my name off the Golden Driller now.
That's right. Parties at two places tonight, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Noblesville, Indiana, because Bryan Clauson got it done, baby. Yeah! Woo! Let's go back upstairs.
Thanks, Dave. Congratulations to Bryan, of course. And, yeah, Noblesville just a little bit north of Indianapolis. A special moment as we take a look at the results. I don't know about you, Rob, but the one thing that he said that caught my ear was, I looked up at the Jumbotron every now and again. Are you kidding me?
It's right above turn number 1. They can see who's running behind him. They can actually watch the race if they wanted to. But Bryan Clauson, big win for him. His first career Golden Driller. Kevin Swindell second. Christopher Bell third. How about Alex Bright? First time in the A main at the Chili Bowl. Finishes fourth. And the veteran, the People's Champ, Dave Darland, rounds out your top 5.
Tim McCready scratching his way up in there as you take a look at some of the other players. Rico Abreu, of course, really making a run for the lead there up into the top 3, and then unfortunately spins that one out. Sammy Swindell getting caught up in some incidents there and ends up a lap down. Of course, Kyle unfortunately losing the power plant. Once again, let's get it back down pit side and Aaron Bates.
Thank you, guys. Well, it's definitely a bittersweet moment here tonight for Kevin Swindell. A commendable race, finishing up in second place. But, Kevin, your win streak does come to an end. Are your emotions running high?
Yeah, it's upsetting. You know, it kind of feels like I didn't get a fair shot at it. You know, just having that happen in the heat race and just being so far behind the 8-ball, and you know, just shows the adversity this team can fight through, and all these guys work their tail off just to survive that prelim night and to get us here. So it's a good day to at least run second. You know, hate to finally get beat, but you know, I guess it was going to have to end sometime.
Kevin Swindell, he still is a 4-time Chili Bowl champion and put on a spectacular race here tonight for the fans. Guys?
Well, yeah, and I think he had to do that because at least he can go out with vindication. I mean, he was there. He was a player once again. It wasn't like he was mid-pack and had nothing for him. He scrapped his way up there, and he did fight through this one, no doubt about it. So, again, just another excellent show here.
Yeah, Kevin Swindell, I mean, what can you say? I mean, both him and Sammy were both lightning quick tonight, but just not enough for the bullet Bryan Clauson.
Well, and that's what we talked about. This race throws so many curveballs at everybody. For them to dodge all the curveballs for 6 years, 5 years consecutively is pretty amazing. So sooner or later, it's just going to bite you.
And Sammy dodged all the push trucks and the photographers when he cut through the middle of the racetrack. So no matter what they do, they have some good luck here at the Chili Bowl.
It's been a wild week, as anticipated, and we certainly enjoyed every second of it. It was also a pleasure to bring you all the great racing action live here on MAVTV. The first time we've been able to do that here from the Chili Bowl. We'll see you many more times here from MAVTV with some more live programming throughout the year. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Despain, Dave Argerbright, Aaron Bates, and Rob Klepper. I'm Ken Stout. See you next year.